3 o'clock on a Tuesday, or should I say a bruise day. Welcome aboard the Postgame Show. Along with Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. Ryan Brewer is in the house, ready to talk Gamecock football. He was inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Sunday as the Gamecocks beat Virginia Tech. He wanted to play, but they wouldn't let him. True story, or so I'm told. Yeah. All right?
Of course it's true.
Hang on. Let's get him. They unmuted. Now we have him?
I don't know.
No, not yet. We're working on it. And now I can't hear Terry either. Everybody's on mute but me. It's like that scene in Indiana Jones 3 when River Phoenix is playing Young Indy. Yeah, there.
Can you hear us now?
Now I can hear
Go
you.
ahead, Brewer, say something.
Can you hear me?
Hey, look at that.
Everybody's in.
It's like when River Phoenix, he says, everybody's lost but me.
Yeah, I got to see Brewer run on the field with no pads getting in that game in the fourth quarter.
I'm glad you said no pads.
That dude doesn't need pads.
Well, no, I thought for a second when you said pads, I was like, no pants. And I was
Brewer would have played with no pants. He wouldn't have cared.
Ryan doesn't care.
Ryan doesn't care.
He'll put a helmet on. That's all. Ryan, just a helmet, right?
Hey, there's a
that leather helmet. If you saw me just running down with the leather helmet
and nothing else, there's a mental picture to carry you through the rest of the show. There you go, Jay.
Good Lord.
But my point is, Brewer would have done it and not thought about it until when it was over.
Yes.
He'd have been, oh, God, look what I've done.
Yes.
Something no. Like that. I'm the CEO of Ryan Brewer Fence. Why am I out here?
On the correct way. He's ashamed at the end. He had it on the wrong way. First, he's all excited, couldn't figure it out.
Nobody knows how to put one of those on.
No,
those are old.
Those damn things.
Those are old, and it didn't really fit on Lenores.
Just super respect for the guys that played with that, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I think respect is the right word. Right?
Yeah. Well, they didn't have any other choice. You can't say
fair. No, that's fair.
Rugby guys still do it,
the
which is
rugby
awesome.
guys are, they're crazies.
Well, the rugby guys, people say that, like, they are kind of crazy, but they also, as our good friend Brad Muller has said, in rugby, you learn how to collide without like crashing your head into someone.
And you form tackle in rugby like nobody's business.
Like they understand that their head is exposed.
It's not a weapon.
And they do clack those heads from time to time.
Every now and then. Yeah. We've talked to Brad Muller. We know there's a clacking of heads there with Muller.
Yeah, Brad is like again, Brad bucks the trend of like engaged rugby players. Mm-hmm. You know, because if you meet Brad, you know Brad. Brad's just super calm and nice. And most of the rugby dudes I know are like, my name's whatever. You want to fight about it?
They eat live animals in front of you.
Yeah, I watched one do it.
They're insane.
It was insane.
Well, if you talk to Muller, you never go, that's a rugby guy.
No, but he loves it.
You talk to Ryan, you never think that's a football player.
True. I think he's in WWE.
Exactly.
He was also in NFL.
Assassin.
He was also in NFL Europe, and with the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. We'll get into plenty of the game a little later on. Just to get you a heads up, our good friend Mike Yuva is going to join us at 4:15. Mike dropped massive news on us today. Mike has been a good friend of the station. He's been a good friend to Gamecock Media for over a decade now. Mike is about to move into athletic administration. Our good friend Chance Miller has hired Mike to be kind of a media coordinator of sorts. I don't know the official title over at Coastal. So Mike only has a couple of days left in sports media. I saw that
tweet today. Congratulations. That's
it's a big deal.
Big move and great hire. Mike's awesome, and obviously Chance's too. So that's be fun for those two to collaborate there.
It will. And Mike will probably now buy like a sailboat.
I was going to say.
Get out on the Atlantic from time to time.
You think Mike will still wear makeup every day into work?
No, he didn't have to.
You think he might just do it out of habit?
Well, I was going to say.
Hairspray.
It could be a hard habit to break. I don't know.
Wear that half suit that some of those guys wear?
Langston and I, a couple seasons ago, were doing a show with our buddy Mike Gillespie before he left his job. And there's me and Langston, and we're just like in, shirts and whatever down at the studio. And like, we're taping it, right? So, but like 30 seconds before we are ready to tape, there's a Gillespie putting on and I was like, what about us, man? What about how do we need to look? And he's like, it's just habit. Sorry. And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Have you ever been around where they're taping something, so they'll have like the suit thing on, and they got shorts?
Oh yeah,
I've done that multiple times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Reminds me back when I was in high school.
Right now.
Because Brewer's got his tux top on and his shorts right now. Because Ryan's always.
Okay, hold on, I got to scoot up a little bit so you can cut
just in case. Yeah, just in case. We got a cutoff line right there. But we do have a lot to get to. Mike will join us in just a little bit. AP poll is out. I suppose you can call it good news for the Gamecocks. We'll touch on that in just a second.
It's not bad news.
No, it's not. It's good news. I mean, if you're in the top 10, I don't want to bury the lead. You're in the top 10. Gamecocks number 10 in the country. It's September the 2nd. So, there's a lot of football left to be played.
No, there's nothing left. Like the Young Bucks were saying before, right now they're in.
Sure.
That's
they're
right.
in the
If the playoffs were today.
They're in.
Well, if you can go ahead and end it, hey, I'm here for it, man.
Hey, that's my favorite line in media. If
Actually, that's not true.
Today,
I'm not going to sit here and have gone through all of the spring and summer only to now end the regular season and then wait for the playoff.
And go back to
I want
talking
games.
season.
I want games. We got a couple of good ones this weekend, non-con wise in the SEC, and we'll have our conference opener this weekend. Well, not Carolina, but the SEC. We'll have a conference opener this weekend up in Lexington with Ole Miss visiting the Cats. But before we do anything else, Ryan's review of the 13-point win over Virginia Tech. There was good and bad, as all openers seem to produce.
A lot more good this opener compared to last year's opener, and it was also against a higher quality opponent. But it was that first drive was magical, just pure going through, and then the stop right off there, and then we had some moments there. The offense stuttered a little bit. The running game was struggling in the middle of the game, but when it comes down to it, when the whistle blows in the fourth quarter, when you're dominating the way we were, that's big. Again, defense stepping up. The question marks we had coming into this game, were they all answered? No, but there were some definitely with the linebackers what they did. I think even the DBs, what happened out there, they're all in great coverage. Just got to learn turn head, swat the ball. Some of the big plays that VT made were just chuck them up and 50-50 balls. And our DBs, I think that'll happen. They'll come back and make some plays. But everybody's question mark right now is still on the offensive line. Good and bad news about it wasn't all on like one person.
Right.
There was missed assignments. There was the left guard had a couple. The left tackle had one. The center got blown up once. You had some indecisions by the quarterback, maybe not quick enough. The safety alone was, I think he just read the correct side of the field. He had a leak coming out for an easy 5-yard completion to Hunt, and decided to go the opposite way. Took too long. It was a 3-step drop. Just took too long. The protection was there, and it's a 3-step drop. And you have little room to move. It's gonna collapse.
Yeah, not all sacks are on the line,
right? But some were. The center got blown up. That happens every now and then. You get it man to man, so it's going to happen. And then but there were some pretty bad steps and some bad things when it comes to the left side. But again, we're talking about maybe not the ones. Maybe that was number 2, number 3 in there at that time. So things are going to evolve. They're going to get better when some guys get healthy and come back in. I'm excited about that part of it. I'm excited to see. It's not great that the running backs, the numbers they had were all explosive plays. I'm a ground and pound guy. I like to get 3-4 yards a pop, and maybe they averaged that, but it was a 20-yard run, 30-yard run, and then there was nothing in between there. So I'd like to see a little bit more. But again, that comes back to the O-line creating some holes. But the reads they had, breaking some tackles, out of way, even catching the ball, double spin move, doing some things like that. Just seeing this elusiveness out of those guys was fun to see. And then special teams. That was one question mark. All new heads come up there, and pretty much everybody succeeded. When it comes to it.
Where were you, not physically, mentally, when Shane decided to re-kick? You're a special teams guy.
So in a dome like that, it's hard to catch a punt. That's why you saw even warm-ups. And anytime like in NFL, we didn't play in domes, so in NFL, and you start trying to catch them there, there's so much, especially that one. There's like a spider web of crap above your head, right. So when that ball, that ball goes in the air, and you're trying to read the nose, read the laces, or the nose and the stripes. It's hard, and you got to at least see what's coming at you. You can lose it quick, with all the stuff in the air. Like you said, they had just beams going every which direction, all different colors, all different solids there. So trying to find that football is tough. So anytime someone catches one, goes forward, I'm like, okay, that's a win, right?
Right.
So when he says re-kick it, and it was a 40-yard kick or so, the first one, and I was like,
I mean, you were going to get the ball on the 31. That's
not
good.
horrible.
That's good.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it's like it's a gamble.
Yeah.
In my mind, as a punt return, I was like, that's a gamble, especially when you've already dropped one and you had Swain going back there. The guy that did drop one, it's a mental game as well. So it's just it's something that a lot of people don't think about unless you sit under there and watch a ball in that air and go, oh crap, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It's like it really does that to you,
Right.
So, but him being smarter than me and playing beamer ball, decided, hey, let's do this again. And then it was, the return was unbelievable. The blocking on the return was great. Yeah. The non-blocking on the return was even better.
Yes.
There's multiple times. Like, there's guys like, I was like, wow, last year we were lighting those guys out and we're getting 15. That's getting returned. They were being smart. They were running past guys, just screening them off. And then breaking tackles, and then
two video game moves, the spin and the dive.
Yeah, it was but yeah, that was special. The kicks were great. I can't believe their kicker got a 56-yarder like it was nothing,
and could have gone 60.
That guy's a beast. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Could have gone 60.
The only thing, I mean, the punts, the average are great, but the first 2 punts were short.
Right,
and they just had great bounces. Even when they hit them, everyone's like, I was like, oh, no, he doesn't catch it. That thing's rolling. Right. You can tell by that. Again, doing this all the time, way back when, I can tell by the nose of the ball how it's going to hit, where it's going to roll. And I was like, that's rolling in our favor, and we're going to get a good kick out of that. And they did. But at the same time, that's on them. Their punt returner catches those, and that's, that's average. That's at least 40 yards they would have had in, field position that if the guy should have run up and caught the ball.
Real quick, two things. One, watching those guys, when you just watch a replay of the game, watching the non-blocks, they're just running with their hands up in the air going, I ain't touching you. I'm just getting in your way. That was phenomenal at the end of the run.
Especially first game smart. Like, that's that usually doesn't, that's usually, all right, we got to learn from this because, and the fact that we haven't had a punt return in how long?
Right.
So
2013.
Yeah, it was 12 years, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Here's my question to you, because Shane brought up the re-kick. Like an old special team saying is nothing ever comes good of a re-kick when you got to be in the coverage unit because you got to run back down there and do it a second time.
Makes sense.
I was going to ask you about that. You were in a lot of coverage units. I know you've been through re-kick situations. Kind of talk about that real quick.
So especially later in the game too, you're worn out. If you're a guy that does a lot of snaps, I'd play like the right wing, they would say. And majority of the time, my goal is just to make sure the punt didn't get blocked, and now I'm contained. I'd run like 3/4 speed. I'm just making sure. If it was a right kick and I had to get down there, I'm taking off. But it was a left kick. I'm making sure there's no cutback lane, stuff like that. But you're tired. I did my job, didn't get blocked. Now, if it comes my way, let's just make sure I contain. And now kickoff's different. I'm running down like a bat of a hill because but punt team, like you've been going at it for a while. But if you're a gunner and they don't switch gunners, now, I don't know if they did it. I didn't look at that, if they switched them or not. But if they didn't switch them, that's definitely an advantage. Those guys just got probably double teamed on the side, got pushed around. That's, you just ran 40 yards, dead sprint, getting hit. Now I got to line up and do it again. That's definitely, you're wearing them out. I would imagine if the coach was smart, they'd probably subbed them out, but they may not have. And that's, Shane, using the beamer ball logic, realized, hey, let's take advantage of this. And that's, and again, it's easier said. That he could have boomed a 60-yarder and we would have been like, oh, but he didn't.
Well, that was my thing. It's like, just I don't know. I
was thinking, Jay and I talked about this yesterday, Ryan. I was just thinking about when Vicari muffed the punt the first time, and to your point of how difficult that is with that roof. And I'm like, I was looking at Tyler. We're sitting there at Harris. I'm like, you really want to re-kick this thing? 31. I'm like you, Jay. 31-yard line's not that bad. And Jay was like, watch it going. I wouldn't re-kick.
I was like, and Shane's mindset though was the opposite of mine. It's like nothing. He said nothing happens good
on a re-kick
for the kicking team, and I'm like, man. This is like, to your point. This is where the guy, oh yeah, you want me to re-kick? All right, and then it gets down at the three.
Glass half full, glass half empty type thought process there, and but I'm normally the half full guy, but at the same time, I'm also a guy that's caught a ton of punts,
right?
Knowing that's tough. So that's I didn't care about anything. I didn't think about anything else except for he's already dropped one. This is if
maybe I've just been around the Gamecocks a lot, and I'm like, this is just where the Gamecocks will get the.
And again, it's been 12 years since we've returned one, so
right.
But it worked out and it was awesome. It was a great return. Everybody on the return team did a phenomenal job.
Now I expect one every week.
And that was fun to be in that stadium and watch that.
803-404-6100 to be a part of the program. AAA Heating and Air phone lines, Firehouse Subs text line. Either number gets you into us. Lots more to do with Ryan. AP poll is out, and I have a weekend of disappointment. Start, bench, drop. All part of Brews Day here on the postgame show. 19 minutes after 3 o'clock here on a Tuesday afternoon, or a Brews Day afternoon, if you will. Jay and Terry. Ryan Brewer in the house, the former Gamecock running back, wide receiver, punt returner, kick returner, special teams gunner, team captain, husband, father, business owner, Baltimore Raven, Ryan Fire.
Correct. And
Berlin Thunder.
the Berlin Bull.
Yes, that's right.
How cool was Berlin, man?
It was awesome.
Yeah, I hear.
I mean,
they sell beer in Germany?
No,
they have none. They have prohibition.
Yes, it's so
prohibition
sad.
in Germany.
It's sad.
Prohibition means you're prohibited from not drinking.
That was one of the best times is the beer gardens there, and then having a bunch of O-linemen, and we're trying to see how many steins we can carry at once, and everyone.
Sure.
And then you'd have the barista, the girl, and she just out carry all of it.
Yeah.
She had 12 steins.
Man, they show they show the real Oktoberfest celebrations, which all start up here pretty soon, and it's impressive,
thing,
man.
How old were you in Berlin?
24.
Oh God,
23, 24.
23, 24 in Berlin.
Yeah.
Dude.
You save any money?
That's
No. You didn't make any money, and everything I made just went straight to the beer garden.
I'll say this. That's a podcast after hours. Ryan Brewer in Berlin.
It's I do have some stories, but they're some fun ones for sure.
I bet they
Especially when I got traded. And if I can't tell that story.
Okay, yeah. Podcast. Hour 4. Yeah, Brewer in Berlin. I'm in, man. Call me up. Let's. I'll host. I'll just ask a question. Ryan, Berlin. Your thoughts?
Yeah. 2 words. Beer garden.
Yeah.
Word association.
All right. Let's look at a couple of things from this ball game. Then I'll get into our start bench drop today because I do want to touch on actually some of the other stuff about your NFL Europe days based on something that we read this morning. But. Look, opening drive, fantastic. Bogged down. Shane made mention of the fact that Virginia Tech stacked the box a lot, and Carolina just couldn't get a run game going the way they wanted to. As you mentioned, ultimately, the numbers weren't terrible, but they were definitely skewed because of big plays. How much of the – and you mentioned earlier to us, the offensive line guys, it's not on any one in terms of the run game where I want to focus right now. But what, in your opinion – is the biggest / most fixable issue to get these guys going? Because I don't know, with all due respect to the State Bulldogs this weekend, I don't know how much more I think we can see some, but how much can they really work on? Where's the biggest glaring mistake?
I mean, it's the biggest thing everyone talks about after week 1. When do you make your biggest differences from week 1 to what? To 2. Yeah. And that's because now you've actually had live bullets at you. You weren't just in practice going against the same guys all the time. You had different fronts. You had different stunts. You had all these different things that came at you, and you now the coach got to see on film. Oh, the lights are on, boys. You're on ice skates, or you're doing this right. You're doing this right. And I can if you're this is where the coaches come in. This is the reason they're here. That's why they make a ton of money. Mm-hmm. I've almost said the wrong word twice now today. Make a ton of money. They sit them down, go to film, and they watch every daggone step they make. Every 6-inch step they make. Every time they're on their heels. Every this and that. And it's can you fix it or not? If you can't fix it, next guy's up. And that's where, if we're supposed to have all these recruits coming in. If you're not good enough, you can't do it. I'm going to put someone in there that can. And that's where I think an SC State game, where second week is where now it's like, hey, the first week sometimes you can really overlook somebody. Second week you're coming in, it's like if you're at the offensive line or in every position, unless your name's Nick Harbor or Sellers on offense, you have someone else trying to win your job. Mm-hmm. So that's like, hey, this is a game where I still got to earn my spot, earn my keep at this spot. So it's right now is what they're doing right this second until game time, trying to get better, and it can be. It's a lot of it's fixable because it was either missed assignments or the pad level on some of those were just ridiculous. The guys are getting under them and just pushing them back, and it's coachable. But is this who you are, or is it something that you can fix?
Are we giving Virginia Tech enough credit for what they did defensively?
I don't think so. I think they were explosive off the ball. I think they can't. They did some things that it's to be seen. What they're going to do. Next game's coming up, but I really think they came off the ball hard, and they had some good stunts and some things on us. But I think just where we've been with the O-line for years, that we're never going to get off the O-line until it's like a perfect game. They're going to give up one sack and have 300 yards and rushing and passing, and we're going to be like, that one sack. Yeah. Why do they do that?
No doubt.
We're not. It's just it's been an issue we've had for a long time.
We're
always going to and especially what we gave up the sack wise this week, I don't think it'd be a lot better if it was always the left guard, right? All right, we got to replace the left guard. That would be great, but it hasn't. So it's just if everyone does their assignment, this is a fun offense.
Yeah. But Terry, Ryan's, 41 sacks 2 years ago, 41 sacks allowed last year, 5 this week. It's a thing.
What's weird about Sunday, they didn't give up a lot of pressures, but almost every pressure turned into a sack. You know how that goes. Sometimes you just have pressures that don't equal being sacks. They had 8 pressures that ended up in 5 sacks. Guys got home on the Virginia Tech side of the ball.
Yeah, and I said last year, the 41 sacks, but there was probably twice as many pressures, and Lenoris made magic out of a lot of them. He made magic out of 1 or 2 of this week. Yeah. But that was really fun to watch him do it. At the same time, oh guys, come on,
And could he have done it a couple of more times, perhaps?
Maybe, but he stepped up in some of them, and that's where I think he's trying to get better, stepping up in the pocket, trying to hit guys there and go. And again, he'll look at the film too and say, "Man, if I released it a little quicker there, it wouldn't have been a big deal."
Right.
One, he stepped in and short armed it and floated a little. There's things he's going to look at because he's a ridiculous athlete, and he's probably as a competitor, he's saying, "I want to be better. I want to do this better." And why is this happening? And I really think there's going to be a big difference, and it should be because of who we're playing as well, but just a big difference there. Clean it up, get our confidence down, and we'll get rolling.
Hey, and I don't know how much you got a chance to watch the running backs while you were at the game. Did you get any feel of, vision or reads where you go, if you'd have cut it over here, or maybe if you had vision on this side, maybe you wouldn't have had a 1 yard loss or stuff to the line of scrimmage if you'd have gone this way, maybe. Did you see anything from watching the game, or is that more of I got to sit down in the beer garden and watch tape?
Yeah, I've just watched highlights coming back, but definitely watching it live. I do pay a lot more attention to the O-line and running back, and I do see a lot of it. There wasn't that many, you should have cut it there, you should have been more patient here type situations. A lot of it just when the O-line's getting pushed at the line of scrimmage, there's not much a running back can do.
Right.
That's the rule of thumb is a running back's supposed to make one miss. You got to get through the line, get a 1-2 yards, and then you make one guy miss, and that's your job. So, but if you're getting pushed in the backfield and you're getting hit in the backfield, that's not on the running back. And can they make a Superman cut and spin out and make 4 guys miss? 100%. But that's not a read. That's not being patient. That's this. It's majority of the times they got hit the line of scrimmage or got a 1 to a negative yard rush. I would not put that on them.
Well, even the Faison run he got hit 4 yards in the backfield.
He made a good jump cut in the backfield. Yeah, it was like even that play I was like, great cut. But once he does that, it opened up everything else because it was that was the one guy that was left unblocked. It shouldn't happen, but it's like, hey, I made one miss. Now it's wide open.
Yeah.
Well, let's go farther than we know about Attaway, but Ryan Brewer's thoughts and maybe a review of Rasul Faison. A limited sample.
Limited sample, but like I said, the big runs he had were huge. He runs downhill. He's willing to take contact and give contact. You can see his looseness. You see that little burst there. I think it's still. I don't think that jury's out. I think he's gonna be a heck of a back. And I think it's all predicated on what the O-line can give him. I think he's a guy, though, that doesn't need a huge crease to make plays happen. And that's why I think Attaway's the same way. It doesn't need to be a lot. It just needs to be something. Give him something, at least a bounce outside, or a little crease inside on a counter, or even a quick hitter. And I think these guys are going to be special backs.
You like the 1-2 punch?
I did like how they used them. Again, I'm not a share the ball type guy. I want to hold on to as long as I can. But I think for what they had going there, even catching out of the backfield, protection-wise, they look good. They both I saw stick their face in on guys and blocking was great. But I think the timing they had in the rotation, it looked like they kept fresh and they looked really good out there.
So last week we learned Ryan hates everybody. This week we learned he doesn't like to share.
Just when you cross the line.
That's right. I bet you he shared a lot in the beer garden.
Yeah.
He shared a ton in the beer garden, I guarantee you.
I did.
Shared his thoughts on how he felt about you. Right? Something like that. Lots more to do with Brew. Do want to get into a little bit, speaking of those days in Rhine and Berlin. We'll touch on that. And just think, not in Rhine. Where was that?
Dusseldorf.
I say that Rhine is a river.
Yes.
Yeah.
He played in the river.
I was there.
After the beer garden.
Yep.
That's right. And on the other side, we'll come back with today's start, bench, drop. It's the postgame show. Griffin Pools and Spas, ready to get those backyard dreams of yours into a fantastic reality. Custom pool design, committed to getting it done on time with top quality construction and materials, low maintenance installation, communication from start to finish. The late Stan Griffin founded this company back in the mid-1970s. He's no longer with us, but it's still a family-owned company dedicated to getting everything done the right way. Maybe it's not a pool. Maybe you'd like a hot tub. Just, after a long day of doing whatever it is that you've done, get into that hot tub. Bullfrog Spas, part of what they sell at Griffin. Each seat is customizable so that you get exactly what you want, and so do your friends and family, whatever you need when it comes to pools and spas, even maintenance. They can help you out with all of that. Call them up, 803-957-2121. Their showroom is just steps away from the Lake Murray Dam in Lexington, and they're always online at griffinpoolsandspas.com. All right, welcome back in. It is start bench drop time here on a Brews Day. Ryan Brewer in the house, Jay and Terry with you. Mike Yuva coming up in a bit. Sound from Shane Beamer. Thank you, Tyler Head. And we'll get into more of what is coming here. Terry doesn't know this one yet. Neither does Brew. But we had some disappointments this weekend in varying degrees. So that's today's start bench drop. I want you to rank these disappointments in terms of worst to not. So you're dropping the one that is least disappointing.
Are you not calling me back part of this list of disappointments for the day?
No, you're not that disappointed.
You're not going to Shane's presser?
That's not, and Shane's not disappointed. These are not disappointments, Terry. You're not disappointed that we didn't talk, and Shane couldn't care less.
Can't you tell? You can tell there's something different about
Ryan
me
doesn't
today.
care.
Disappointment.
Yeah. Ryan doesn't care.
Ryan looked at me when I walked in.
His eye, and I was like, "You're all right." I had to give him a hug.
The only thing Ryan should be disappointed about was nobody was here to let him in.
Yeah, that's
disappointing.
That's your fault too, because you weren't here to let Ryan in. So Ryan's disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you, and Shane's disappointed in you. I think that's a start bench cut. Ryan, what do you think?
I think
I'm starting.
I don't think anybody. Yeah, I don't think anybody's disappointed. I know myself. So here they are in alphabetical order. Alabama losing at FSU. So just Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Arch Manning. So
I got mine.
Those are your start bench drop options for the day.
I like it.
Alabama, Bill Belichick, Arch Manning.
I like it.
All right. So there you go.
You know
is it
where
like
going?
your personal disappointment in these things? Is that what you're going with? Or are you going with like, okay?
Oh, this is it's all personal.
Yeah, like who disappointed you the most?
But like
Alabama?
if you were like happy about one of those, it's not disappointing.
No,
right?
Then that's the
exactly.
But it was disappointing to North Carolina, or was disappointing to Alabama, or was disappointing to
correct
Manning and the Texas family, or is it disappointing to me, myself, and I?
Yeah, I like where your head is with that.
Because one of them I was laughing at.
I would tell.
That had to happen last night.
I might have picked on them on Twitter. I like
one. I felt bad about the kid, but at the same time, I was like,
well, again,
that's what's not. It's not his fault, but that's what you get for the media.
Media, yeah,
pushing somebody to play
again,
two
it's
games.
like my wife and I did this last night. It's like that one of those Simpsons where Bart falls out of the treehouse and he's all crooked or whatever, and Bill House goes, I think he's really hurt. And Nelson says, I said, man. That's kind of like that's. Yeah.
And that's similar with Alabama as well.
So I like where your head is. I would ask you to take some level of your own personal subjectivity out of it.
Okay.
Some. Not all.
See, I think Ryan was laughing at all of them in some way, shape, or form. Is the point?
Yeah, one of them I didn't. One
at first I was like, "Hey, this team actually looks really daggone good." And I was like, "Whoa, the other team just didn't show up."
No, it didn't.
I do believe, Terry Ford, that I know where I'm going.
I know where I'm going. I got mine pretty much in my head.
But I'll throw this out on Twitter in just a second. Talking a lot about the Gamecocks beating Virginia Tech 24-11. And I'll set you up with something I know you wanted to discuss with this. I tweeted out during the game after the 64-yard touchdown, Harbor, getting the pass from Lenoris, that the Gamecocks needed that. And my point was they didn't just need it in the moment, which they did. They needed it for the psyche of the program. They needed that big play to happen. So there it is. And then you want to go do it again.
Yes. So the whole with Harbor, I mean, wasn't a coming out party at all, but it's more of a confidence building party is what I think just happened there. That play alone, seeing the joy between him and Sellers, celebrating that, knowing this is what we're supposed to be happening the whole time was great. I think he had a play earlier in the game, which was like a 12, 15-yard out route.
Mm-hmm.
And the route he ran, pressed on the corner's toes, dug in, got down low, kept his arms moving, and then got out flat. Didn't round it like he did all last year. He got out flat, perfect ball in there, and caught it. Like I said, I think it was 12, 15-something yards like that. That one, I was like, that was a wide receiver running a route. That's when I was like, okay, he has been working. This is legit. Now the drop, hopefully he shook that off and got there because that was could have been a huge play there too.
Yeah.
But like I said, that was a moment. Even the touchdown that was not called a touchdown, he'll learn from that. Try to get the other Paul on it.
Was that a touchdown?
I don't see how it's. I mean, it's a touchdown if LSU's.
You know what?
The whole thing. That thing.
If you had asked me and you wanted an answer, you know what you would have said? Because I'll give it to you. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Yeah,
the answer is 100% yes. But the answer is no because they didn't call it a touchdown.
Right.
So because it's a subjective something nowadays that we have no idea what.
By the way, Wes Mitchell, y'all look at my Twitter.
NFL times.
Look at Wes's Twitter. I'll show you the play. Wes just retweeted the video of LSU here last year when they gave the kid a catch and he dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
but I mean,
and I'm not trying to be
2 steps, a hand, a knee, and then the ball. I mean, it's like you're out of bounds. Then you're
it's
a touchdown.
It was a touchdown. But luckily, it doesn't matter. But that would have been huge for stats. It would have been huge for confidence. The dude would have been over 100 yards. Is it 99 yards? It's a 100-yard receiving game. Another stat thing just to hang on your head. But that game, the routes he ran, just confidence building coming into the season. That's something I think as a fan. As a former receiver, watching that and watching him and knowing where we want him to be, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere, and this dude's going to be special.
You know, I'm trying to remember, was it his late in his freshman year in the Missouri game or early in his sophomore year, to the point of what you're talking about. The other part is getting his feet in. Now, when early in his development, I think it was late freshman year, he tried to catch a ball on the sideline. I think it was a Missouri game in Columbia, and he just couldn't tap his feet. He couldn't even, he didn't have the recognition of the sideline and the recognition of where to put his feet to make sure his feet are in bounds. That's how far this guy has come from when he first started. Dude, you played wide receiver. If you've never played it before, there's so many things you have to learn that are so technical and just minutia. But you got to be able to do them.
The athlete and field presence and all that you see this, it's been growing. It's finally. With an off season that didn't involve track, you can tell a difference in game one. Let alone let's see what happens in the next games. And I mean, again, try to catch the ball running 22.6 miles per hour. Try to run that fast, and then try to catch the ball running that fast.
I mean,
that's thrown 50-something yards in the air.
I was driving 34 miles an hour with my window down. Somebody tried to throw me a pass.
Yeah, I mean,
did not go well.
I believe it. There's nothing good that's going to happen out of that. But it's just little things like that. I remember Troy, because I couldn't run that fast, and it's hard for me to catch a deep ball. But like Troy Williamson, I remember all the time, he's like, man, you're going, your eyes are going bouncing up and down, you're running as fast as you can, you're trying to find the ball. Then you got to find the ball in that spiderweb dome up there. It's, I was just hats off. Good. I was so proud of what he did, and where I think that can lead us to the future.
How about that? I mean, again, the touchdown that should have been. Goes up.
And he's using the jump ball
down, gets the feet down beautifully. Really had 3 feet down.
Made a nice adjustment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
I know you can't have 3 feet, but you know what I mean.
3 steps, a hand.
He had all 3 feet in.
An elbow, and then he.
Hey, listen, I don't like, and the LSU play on Saturday, that was a touchdown.
That's a touchdown. You hit the pylon.
It's crazy out.
As soon as he crossed the pylon, that should have been a touchdown.
First off, why the heck that official mark him at the 1?
Right.
So there's wrong. He should have been, oh, man, I got to make up for this. That's an easy touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
Right.
Can y'all save me here?
And I read the rule. The rule says the ball can move if you still have control of the ball.
Especially after you had control of the ball.
Yeah. And he had already
after 2 steps.
He had already made the football move, right? If you will, like to turn. It's just whatever.
It comes down to that ridiculous, idiotic. You have to survive the ground.
Luckily, this didn't cost us a game because then we'd all be real. I mean, we'd be.
But running backs don't have to survive the ground, and that's there again. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's not logical. No. If you
would that have been a fumble on the field if he was on the field?
Yeah.
That
would not have been an incomplete pass.
Yeah,
that would have been he caught the ball, he spun, he turned, and then the guy nudged it.
If he knocked it out, yeah. I mean, it's
all right. Anyway. We'll wrap up this edition of Bruce Day. Not the show. We got a lot more to do, but we'll wrap up Ryan's time with us on the other side as the postgame show. All right, welcome back in. It is time for the injury report. I tell you what, let's just let's toss it straight to Shane Beamer from today's press conference. Get you caught up.
Injury update, Judge Collier and JT Gear are the only two coming out of the game against Virginia Tech that we're concerned about. I would say they are doubtful for this week, but thankfully it won't be long term. We were a little concerned about Judge, his injury being long term, but it wasn't and won't be. Don't know if they'll be quite ready this week, but we'll see. They're trying like heck to get back.
There you go. That's pretty much it.
Here's your injury report.
So
those are
from
two big
Dr.
ones.
Shane Beamer.
They are, and if you can, and I think you can get by this weekend without them.
If you keep JT Gear on the field, that's the biggest problem. When he's on the field, every now and then he pops. You just can't keep him on the field.
Yeah.
That's that, and then when Six got a little scare there too.
Oh,
he did a little shoulder.
I held my breath for,
but they
2 minutes.
I think they either massaged
came right back in and played his ass off.
Yeah. Well,
maybe he needed that
cortisone shot, man. Quick Tylenol. I don't know.
Say, a little
something.
A little ibuprofen.
Kramer Jezik.
Yeah,
remember that stuff?
Man, that's all over me right now. So I can do a radio show.
Remember the atomic bomb?
Oh.
Yeah.
Therapeutic mineral ice, baby.
Man, we had Kramer Jezik and atomic, but the atomic bomb, that stuff is frightening.
Oh, man, what's Shaq do?
Icy hot.
Icy hot.
I have those in my like the
I like icy
bottle, the rub on. I have it in my truck.
Yeah.
They would put that in certain clothing that should not be.
Well, that's why the atomic bomb was only the heat, and dude, that stuff
not good, man.
No,
great prank if it wasn't you.
Absolutely, if it wasn't you, laughed like hell when it was the other guy.
Yeah. But sometimes you just forgot to. Well, never mind. Let's
wash
not.
Your hands is all you're trying to say.
Yes, you need to wash your hands after you apply atomic bomb or many of those types of products, but the old Kramer brand, but that shows my age. Before we do anything else, I don't want to forget to remind all of you that Ryan Brewer's visits with us every week are very conveniently brought to us by Ryan Brewer and Ryan Brewer Fence.
Yes, if you need a fence, any style, commercial or residential, we can help you out with that with my awesome team. Just go to ryanbrewer.net or give us a call, 803-647-1591, and we'll get Miss Casey Moody.
Yep.
Tom Moody's daughter will be out there, or some of our other fine sales reps come get you set up and secure is beautiful. Go to our Instagram and Facebook and all those sites and see all the work we can do for you.
Talk Gamecock football and Duke hoops with Casey.
Yeah, definitely.
She's big on both of those.
Big on both of those.
Yeah.
Duke even more than Gamecock football.
I don't know. Well, Duke hoops is good.
Get a little connection
Carolina
there.
football's good.
Yeah.
Carolina football is getting better. Real quick, I want to ask you your time in NFL Europe. I know you had time in the National Football League. That speaks for itself. But in NFL Europe, I've said before, Kurt Warner's in the Hall of Fame because he got to go back and play in NFL Europe. And he may not even sniff the bench of an NFL team if he doesn't play in Europe. How much did you guys get told that this is a way for you to further develop relative to grow the game at the time you were playing?
It was pretty much you're going over there, and I screwed up, but you're allocated by your team choice. So, if it was Baltimore or it was Dallas, whatever, then you wear that patch on the back of your whatever team you're playing for, his helmet. So that was pretty much saying, hey, when you are done playing here, if we like what you're doing, we're going to bring you back to camp, but they could cut you right away if they didn't like what you're doing.
Yeah.
The majority of the guys were brought back to camp knowing, hey, whatever the coaches said there. So it was a quick mini camp, however many games we played of training each week, getting better. And also for the NFL guys, keep the eyes on them and make sure, hey, these are guys, bubble guys, that can come back here and play. So it was big for a lot of guys. Like you said, not just Kurt. There was a lot of dudes that came back, especially running backs, and got some playing time later.
Didn't DeLone play over there too?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. My quarterback went to the Cowboys. I'm blanking who he was, but he was played for a couple years too. But he came in and was a stud, and it's going to kill me that I can't think of his name.
You'll get it
in a second. But I got hit in the head a bunch over there in Europe and drank a lot of those steins.
Yes, we talked about that. That boots full of beer.
Yeah, but no, it definitely it was what you've been wanting forever. Is the whole let's have a league that's not college guys, is that they're not.
Well, again, I can't send you. I can't. If Ryan Brewer needed some more work once he got to the pros, hey Ryan, we're sending you back to Coach Holtz for a couple games.
Yeah, that ain't how it works. It doesn't work. It would be awesome.
Yeah,
I feel like they're doing that now with these guys having 7 to 12 seasons in college. But yeah, it's definitely it'd be really nice. The NFL has enough money to do it. And also it was great for the Europeans and having real football over there.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
I know no, only because I know how you feel about European football that I know you don't mean that at all. Plus,
he just meant that to you.
Plus, your daughter will beat you up, so you don't need
both
that.
of them.
You don't need that. That's right. All right, always good to see you. Appreciate
it. You,
Ryan 21 Brewer on Twitter, RyanBrewer.net for the fences. We'll do it again on next week's edition of Brews Day. Mike Yuva with a big announcement. He'll join us next hour. Keep it here.
All right, a couple accidents as we check the roads here in the Midlands. Percival Road at Forest Drive. Also, accident to talk about in Richland. Percival Road near Forest Drive, accident reported. Also, construction. I-20 between I-26, exit 64 and 65, Broad River Road. Bush River Road, exit 108, Old Sandy Run Road, exit 125 on I-26, and 126 between Hugie and I-26.
All right, welcome back. 4 o'clock here on a Tuesday afternoon. It's still Brew's Day, even if Ryan's gone. By the way, Brew just sent that. That's why I was chuckling as I came on. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, Chad Hutchinson was the quarterback that he was trying to think of.
There we go.
I knew he'd get it.
Well, Chad Hutchinson.
I knew he'd get it.
Also did some baseball, if I remember.
See, back then, Terry, they would send players that needed some seasoning to a lower level of professional football. And then what they would do is they would have them work on their game, work on their craft. They would. I think the word I'm looking for is develop these players with the intention of having them get some game time under their belt. And then they would bring them back to the highest level of football. Now, I think that's an interesting concept. I understand that. But then they said, no, that doesn't work. We'd rather just tell a kid that he sucks.
Right. Well, the thing, too, is...
And then move on.
Yeah, look, you and I just started because there's a really interesting article in The Athletic about how the NFL is so poor at developing quarterbacks.
And the one thing it doesn't mention, it was great. It was a great, long read.
Really good read.
And there's one thing it doesn't have in it at all.
What's that, Jay?
The potential of a developmental league. I know I bang this drum, and I know to some of you in my audience, God bless you for sticking with me on this, even if you think I'm an idiot. But it makes zero sense for the National Football League to bitch and moan about what it doesn't have or what it needs more of, and then not do something about it. That's what we're supposed to do in life, right? If something troubles you, if something bothers you, if something needs work, if you have a roof that leaks, do you just hope that it'll never rain again? No, you fix the bleeping roof. What? Right? If you're not a good driver when you're young, you go to driving school, or you have your parents do more. You learn so that you don't get in accidents. Whatever, you learn how to do stuff, and you do it better. They can't. And again, God bless all of you who say to me, Jay, the NFL has a developmental league. It's called college football. It's not. Can you be developed in college? Of course.
Well, here's the thing.
Can they send you back? No. And does your coach really care in the grand scheme, only for recruiting purposes in a lot of cases?
Where I'm at with this thing is I focus it really on the biggest problem they have, which is developing the most important position in team sports.
Yes.
Which is the quarterback.
Yes.
And it just got driven home in this article, and I went back from 2017 to 2022. And in that span of 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 6 years, 21 quarterbacks are taken in the first round. Guess how many are right now still with their original teams? This is only 6 years.
21, you say?
Out of 21 quarterbacks.
8 or 9?
9.
9?
Under 50%. And when you draft a quarterback, Jay, you're supposed to have him at least 6 years, right? Because your franchise quarterback. That's your goal, right? To draft him in the first round.
Sure.
So only 43% of teams have been successful with this because they can't develop. It's Brady, Patrick Mahomes with the Chiefs. You have Josh Allen with the Bills, Lamar with the Ravens. You have Murray with the Cardinals, and that one's in. And then you go back to 2020 is the most successful draft of all these with Burrow, Tua, Jason Herbert, Jordan Love. Those four, ready? That draft with those four is almost successful as all the other ones combined. Because that's 4 of the 9 right there, Jay.
That's like 83.
Yep. So the problem is you have your Mitch Trubisky's and Deshaun Watsons and Baker Mayfields. I go on and on with the guys who are on other teams now.
Right.
Point being is you suck at developing quarterbacks.
Well, and you run out of patience because whoever it is, owner, GM, coach, fans, media, collective. I don't mean like Garnet Trust collective. I mean like collectively, all of us. He's terrible. Well, the problem is he can't do it.
Here's the other thing you run into that's made this even worse is there's 2 ways to win a Super Bowl when it comes to quarterbacks. A, go get a Tom Brady, go get a Peyton Manning, go get some grizzled guy who might be past his prime but still really good because he was so good to begin with. And you get him on the cheap now because he's older and he's not going to command $50 million a year. Or you get a quarterback on a rookie deal.
Right.
So when you get the quarterback on the minute you draft a quarterback and he takes his hand and signs the contract, you're on the clock. You're on the clock to win while he's cheap.
Yeah.
And that's the other problem. They throw these guys in before they're ready.
Yeah, that's a them problem,
right.
Not a quarterback problem.
Let me give you something that's really
interesting. At least not the quarterback's problem.
Right. And I think, who was it? It was, and I have so much more respect for Kevin O'Connell, the head coach of the Vikings, after reading this.
Yeah.
He has the greatest line. Organizations fail young quarterbacks before young quarterbacks fail organizations. He's so right. When Anthony Richardson ends up as a bust, and he will, it's as much on Indianapolis as is Anthony Richardson. Because you saw the player at Florida. And look, honest to God, I'm in the producer studio by myself. I'm not even the smartest guy in this room. Okay? And I know from reading way too much, there's 2 buckets of failure big when it comes to drafting quarterbacks in the first round. A, lack of starts in college. B, lack of accuracy. You know who lands in both buckets? Anthony Richardson. Why in the bleep would you draft that guy in the top 5 in the NFL draft?
What gun was at Jim Irsay's head?
It just, and what they say in that
or
article,
Bob, what's his
Ballard, the GM?
Yeah,
Chris
GM.
Ballard?
Yeah, Chris Ballard, sorry.
Remember, Irsay told him to draft a quarterback. How about this one? If Richardson's gone, you know what they would have taken? Will Levis.
Yeah.
Run that one through your skull.
Yeah.
That's one of the many problems here is you have impatient owners, or you have organizations that don't know what they're doing. They don't pay attention to what's successful. And to your point, and I'll go back to your point, as much as I joke with you about your hill that you die on dressed like Braveheart, you got disemboweled, by the way. Anyway,
that's gonna be me, but at least at least I believe in it, man.
You're a believer,
and I got reasons.
I am to the point of I'm with you to a level because this league has to figure out how to develop quarterbacks because you're wasting
or
so
never
much
complain
money.
about it again. Just shut up about complaining about it. Like, well,
here's the thing.
I don't know.
It's the most important position on the field, and you are successful 43% of the time in the first round since 2017.
That's an NFL problem.
It's an embarrassment, is what it is.
And yet, there's a lot of people in and around the NFL that believe it to be an individual talent problem of the person in question on whatever given team. And that's not the way this works. Again, I always use like Clayton Kershaw as an example. When Clayton Kershaw was a high school pitcher in Dallas, he could throw the ball 95, 98 miles an hour. Most of the kids in high school in Dallas couldn't hit it. But if Clayton Kershaw had gone straight from Dallas as a high schooler to the Los Angeles Dodgers and decided to throw 95 miles an hour right down the middle, you know what? Clayton Kershaw lasts a month. And they'd have been like, well, kid can't pitch because all he can do is throw it past people. He had to learn how to not only throw it hard, but to throw it where people don't hit the ball. And you develop that in the minors. And he could have done it in college. He'd have still maybe spent less time in the minors. And there's plenty of development. So you can develop in college. But for those that aren't ready, it doesn't make sense to me that the NFL would spend all that money on them and then only say, yeah, you'll develop on the scout team.
Well, here's the other part. You are basically making up your mind 2 to 3 years into these guys' careers because, again, now you got that rookie deal that's expiring and you're on the clock. Are you going to re-up him and make him your dude, or are you going to let the contract play out with the idea that if he pops and becomes your dude, you're paying even more money? Right. So now you're on the clock again. I'll give you two examples of what you just brought up. Paul Skeens, who didn't need much time in college. Right. I mean, didn't need much time in the minors.
In the minors.
Roy Halladay.
Yeah.
Roy Halladay comes up to the majors, has some success, and then all of a sudden forgets how to pitch.
Right.
They sent him to A-ball to build him back up.
They broke him all the way down.
And they rebuilt him from the ground up, and guess what he did?
Yeah, won Cy Youngs.
Yeah, so, again, if the NFL, for no other reason, we need to build something to develop quarterbacks because they're so important. Let's build a developmental league just for quarterbacks. And build teams. I'm saying build, but you're really doing it to get better developing your quarterbacks.
But again, you can develop so many things.
Yes.
But quarterback being the premier need.
To me, that's the push of the whole thing. Is you go to the NFL like you. If you were going to go do your PowerPoint presentation, you dress better than you are today, obviously, and you would. Did I let that slip? So you would show
I've got
up.
a collar on today.
You do today, to your credit. But to walk in, your PowerPoint would start with. Do you know since 2017, you only 43% of the quarterbacks you drafted in the first round are still in their original teams?
That's
embarrassing.
I just want them to come out and admit that it's a them problem, not a quarterback prize. It's not, again, these kids can only do so much. Did you scout them poorly? Are they just not as good? How much of it has to do with their surroundings in college? Again, we talked about it, man, and I'm not trying to pick on Ohio State here, but we said Ohio State hasn't ever really had great NFL quarterbacks. They got great receivers. Mm-hmm. They got great offensive lines when they're in Columbus, and these kids are and great backs behind them. It's weird they haven't had more. But if you try to draft a few of them, like, what's wrong with you? Well, maybe you realize they're a product of the system they were in,
of what,
which is loaded with talent.
Blue chippers everywhere. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, to your point, in these organizations, are you understanding when you draft this kid, you better have an offensive line to protect him, have a running game to make his offense balanced so you're not asking him to do too much. Building the offense around his strengths and what he can do, like Andy Reid does. That's worked out pretty well for Andy Reid. Why don't you look at what Kansas City does that's right? Are you just going, that's a freakish guy quarterbacking? No. If Patrick Mahomes goes to Carolina, if Patrick Mahomes ends up in Cleveland, if Patrick Mahomes ends up in all these other places that crap the bed when it comes to developing quarterbacks, you don't have Patrick Mahomes. If
Patrick Mahomes goes to Carolina or Cleveland or a couple other places,
Vegas,
he is now in his, 8th year of professional baseball.
Right.
He's like, the hell with this. I'm out.
Done with this mess.
Yeah.
And that's the point. So much of this is where you land. And if I had an organization, right, I would blatantly steal the Andy Reid model. Blatantly steal it. Because Patrick Mahomes got to sit with a real pro for a year named Alex Smith, who, by the way, if you read this article, nobody's better equipped to help you than Alex Smith.
I think that's a great point, too. It's a good read. Y'all should check it out. But and again, look, however you think of my particular opinion on this, the evidence for the need is overwhelming.
Want to hear it? I got it right here.
I know it's overwhelming. And again, I'm not looking for kitschy minor leagues. I've said many, many, many times, if you've never heard me say it before, B teams in the cities where the teams are at the facility, play on Wednesday. I don't care if anybody goes. I don't care if 100,000 go. I don't care. Are you developing your younger players? And if you want to worry about viewership and advertising and whatever, NFL Network would love the content. And you know who owns NFL Network now, kids? Disney.
Yeah.
And ESPN. And you know what they just launched? A brand new standalone app. They need content. They'd love to have this.
They love any content.
So and that, believe me, that's not even secondary. That's like tertiary at best. I'm talking that you need, and you could develop other positions.
Oh,
certainly,
sure.
But coaches, officials.
Your officiating could get better. Think about this for a minute. Trevor Lawrence, how many coaches and offensive coordinators and quarterback coaches has Trevor Lawrence gone through in Jacksonville?
At least 3, right?
It's insane. I mean, and then you had an owner who should have been fired for hiring Urban Meyer to be a head coach in the NFL to begin with.
Can they fire owners?
They should. Man, if they could. So, I mean, you look at this. Even the Steelers, a team who we look at as a anchor in the NFL, they drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round.
Local boy.
What are you doing?
He's a local boy.
What is he on, team 12 now? I've lost track.
It's a nod. It's a nod to
Is that what it is? Because he played at Pitt?
He's a local kid. Like
they did the fake slide, the cool fake slide.
Like Pete Rose was from Cincinnati. Right?
Which one turned out better?
Pete Rose. All right, today's start bench drop before we talk to Mike Uva. Disappointment for some across the college football weekend. And I ask these intentionally the way I do. Start bench drop these disappointments. Alabama, Bill Belichick, Arch Manning. Start bench drop with the starter being the biggest flop, if you will, of the weekend. So Alabama, Bill Belichick, Arch Manning. All right, we'll come back on the other side. Our very good friend Mike Uva, great friend of the station, great friend to Gamecock fans everywhere for all his coverage on Gamecock Central and down at Watch, had a big announcement today. If you didn't hear it, I'll let him re-announce it, and we'll talk some football.
And don't look in social media for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. Make it like Christmas for just a second. For just a second. Don't go peeking in the closet.
Go back being the old days and be surprised.
Just for a second.
Yeah, what the hell?
Mike Uva on the other side is the postgame show. Palmetto Propane, a family-owned business that's been delivering propane to homes, businesses, farms, and many others across South Carolina since 1959. They are our state's leading full-service propane company, providing exceptional propane service, delivery, and installation of a full range of products like gas logs. Beautiful on the inside, keeping you nice and warm. Don't have to worry about all those big wood piles out back. Gas grills, Renai tankless water heaters, get one, thank me later. Gas lanterns, generators, outdoor fire features, and so much more. And you can see most of these, if not really all, at the Palmetto Propane Hearth and Patio Home Store showrooms all across the I-20 corridor. They've got them in Aiken, West Columbia, Batesburg, Lexington, and across the Savannah River in Augusta, Georgia. Known for their expertise and experience and trusted service technicians, Palmetto Propane, proud to serve South Carolina now and for many years to come. Find a location near you and learn more at palmettopropane.com. All right, welcome back in. Postgame show rolling on here on a Tuesday afternoon. Jay and Terry with you. Mike Yuba coming up in just a second. Start bench drop today. Some disappointments over the weekend. So your starter, the biggest disappointment of the three. Alphabetical order are your choices. Alabama, Bill Belichick, Arch Manning. Which one you got? That game last night. Ugh. Ugh. My wife and I were watching, and with about, 8 and a half minutes to go, third quarter, I think it was 38-7. And it had the feel of a game that had like 2 minutes left. I was like, my God, they're not even halfway through the third quarter. That's how bad that game was last night. But we'll see if they get better. We'll see. I think they're favored to win 2 more games based on the computers. I believe it was 2. I think it was maybe 3. This weekend and
2 straight.
Stanford.
2 straight where they'll be.
Well, Richmond.
favored.
I'm not going to count Richmond.
But they count Richmond.
I know. I don't mean it. I don't mean that as a knock. Richmond's a fine school. But like,
it is a really good school.
Oh, it's a great school. Yes. It's a great school. But I think Stanford and maybe Wake. Wake was like a 50-50.
Yeah, I think they're favored maybe.
If they make a bowl game, I'll be mildly impressed. In the meantime, I am never mildly impressed with our next guest. I'm always
saying you're not impressed with
greatly impressed with our next guest.
Not what you said.
Not mildly.
Not what you said during the break. You were like, "Thank God this is the last one."
During the break, I was not mildly impressed with something else. But that's a whole other story. Our good friend Mike Yuva joins us on the guest line now. Always great to have you, sir. Let's not bury the lead. You've been in the local media scene now for a decade plus here in Columbia, covering the Gamecocks, whether it's for Central or all your years at Watch. Doing a little double duty these days up in your old stomping grounds and down here. And then you drop a bomb on us this morning. So let's re-drop that bomb, my man.
Yeah. After nearly 10 years of covering the Gamecocks, I accepted a position to link up with former South Carolina Associate Athletic Director Chance Miller, who's now the AD over at Coastal Carolina, and they're bringing me on to be the Associate Athletic Director for Communications and Media. So some people are going to be like, "What's that?" Think in terms of like an SID, but the way that Chance has explained it to me, he wants to modernize the position. He wants to have me use some of the background skills that I have, whether it be from TV, doing radio hits, writing, of course, and being able to find ways to promote and share stories in a new way. So certainly it's going to be a new challenge, and I'd be lying to you if I said that this is something that I saw coming, because I certainly didn't. But, I know that there's a lot of people in Columbia that still think the world of Chance, and I would have been an idiot, as I was telling you guys privately when we spoke before about this. I would have been an idiot to turn this down.
Well, I'm thrilled for you, but I am disappointed. I was under the impression that you were going to be like in charge of all like the cool TikToks. That's not what you're doing?
I didn't download TikTok, and I think because of that, with everything that's going on right now in the world of TikTok, like I'm one of those few people that if you send me a TikTok, and whether it's a cool video or not, I don't have it. I can't download it because it won't let me download it. So I have no idea what's going on in the world of TikTok. So if people are having some cool videos, they're making fun of me, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm worth the tick, but I have no idea what's going on in the world of TikTok, and maybe that's just another sign of showing that I'm getting older.
Maybe that's why you got hired. I mean, let's keep that in mind, Mike.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah. Hey, first of all, my friend, congratulations. Seriously, we're all very happy for you here. And, now that you've got this big bump in pay, we'll be coming down to your place on the beach to hang and mooch.
Yeah.
So be ready for that.
Ain't kidding.
And now looking back on Sunday, what were your thoughts watching the Gamecocks take out Virginia Tech?
Yeah, look, I think obviously that opening drive, there were some things that really stood out to me. Certainly the first play with Mo Brown being used as an H-back, and that was something that we talked about a lot this offseason leading up to the first game. And hopefully that's something that, not just this week against South Carolina State, but in the coming weeks that, Mike Chula will incorporate more, because I think Mo Brown is an athletic freak. We talk a lot about, obviously, what Fred Johnson did on defense at linebacker, and certainly rightfully so, but I think Mo Brown can make a big impact. But I think, look, there are certain things in that game. We're going to talk about the offensive line a lot when you have a first game, the continuity. Everyone wants to talk about the fact that, all right, there was 3 new interior offensive linemen. But when you talk about that, guess what? That means everyone on that line is working with someone new, either to their left or either to their right. So you're just hoping they can regroup. There were some good things I did see with the O-line, going back and watching the film and from talking to people inside that building. But they need to clean things up, and you just hope, okay, let's pump the brakes. Remember what happened against Old Dominion last year, how some people were ready to burn the city down. and then what they were able to do after. So I'm eager to see what they can do and just how they're able to build off of this.
Have you been getting the feeling that I have, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't know. I hate to use spreads, Mike, but Carolina opened as an 8 and I think closed as a 6.5, and they won by 13. And yet there is a feeling from I get like a faction of fans that felt this should have been something different, something prettier, something bigger, something better. How, for lack of a better word, how fair is that when you review the performance?
I think naturally, when you have a talent like Lenoris, right, and at that position, naturally you're going to start looking at things saying, all right, like this is going to be a special year. And rightfully so with what they've been able to do at other positions from a recruiting standpoint. But when you take into account that, okay, you have a new offensive coordinator, you have a new 3 interior offensive linemen, new tight end, new running back, right? You have all these new pieces, never mind the fact that you're replacing 6 starters on defense and a lot of depth pieces as well. That's not making excuses, but it's also showing that, okay, yes, there's still a good nucleus here, but there's still a lot of things where a lot of these guys who either didn't play much last season or they didn't play at all, and they're going to have bigger roles. So I think what I try to think about in these first games, and Shane Beamer, this is why he's talked about it ad nauseum over the last couple of years, going back to even when he was a grad assistant here, this is why a lot of college coaches would like to have some type of preseason game, right? Because some of these teams, for whatever reason, and certainly in the Beamer era, that first game of the year, from an offensive standpoint, even in the games where, whether it be Eastern Illinois, you look at special teams playing a big role in helping them get going. So I say that to say it's okay. We've seen this before with this team, and the offense has found ways to get better in some of those years.
Talking to Mike Yuba, Gamecock Central, and again, moving on here shortly to work with Chance.
Go with a new title now.
I know, yeah. We'll think of something. Don't worry, but he's not gonna stop coming on the show.
He said he's not gonna talk to us anymore because he's big time.
No, he's not gonna do that. I know him too well. Your review of Attaway and Faison. There was good, there was bad. We saw some big moments. How much is on them? How much is on the guys up front to get that moving in the better direction?
I mean, look, I think naturally we're going to look at the offensive line just having to, be more consistent with some of the communication. And I think that was the biggest thing that I was told more than anything when I talked to people inside that building Sunday night into Monday, was just that some of it had to do with communication breakdown. And that shouldn't surprise a lot of people when you think of the fact that, again, there's so many new faces on that offensive line, the fact that everyone's working with someone new next to them in some capacity. I think once they can clean up some of that communication stuff, we will see an improvement in the run game. And when they did hit their assignments, I thought guys like Oscar Attaway, you mentioned Faison, of course, too. Faison had that big run for 30 yards. They were able to make the most out of it. Now, obviously, I've been pounding the drum all offseason. Oscar Attaway, Oscar Attaway, Oscar Attaway as the number one back, and I'm going to continue to do that. I think people that were maybe doubting him, or they just weren't expecting him to be able to be a guy that potentially could be the starting running back and the number one guy moving forward, they got to see a glimpse to a point where, and I'll share this story now. I'm fine, I'm on my way out. Screw it. Oscar Attaway's dad actually told me that he had people come up to him during the game and after the game saying, you know what, I said some things about your son and I was wrong. So I'm hoping we can continue to see Oscar do those things because I think he is an extremely versatile back. It's not just what he's able to do between the tackles, which I think he's a hard runner between the tackles, but he's arguably their best pass blocker. And he's also a versatile running back, as we saw not just this past weekend, but going back to the bowl game and what he's able to do as a pass catcher as well.
Yeah. Good stuff as always, sir. Congrats on the new gig. We will definitely keep in touch, but we're proud of you.
Do real quick?
Yeah.
We have Michael, and he can start telling all of his secrets now because it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, that's true. All right. Well, we'll do that. We'll do that
Thanks,
in the fourth.
Mike.
We'll do that in the fourth hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's our buddy Mike Yuba. Thanks, man. Congrats for real. We'll talk to you soon. All right. That's Mike Yuba. Mike_Yuba to follow on Twitter. It's the Postgame Show.
Let's jump in here and get our first traffic look of the day here in the Midlands. Accident, I-26 eastbound in Columbia near Sunset Boulevard. Also, Old Tamara Road near Coon Road. Then we have our usual road construction, I-126 between Hugie and I-26. You got I-26 and I-20, like always, between Broad River Road there, exit 64 and 65, and I-26 Bush River Road, exit 108A, and Old Sandy Run Road, exit 125. We'll come back in here, post-game show. Terry and Jay on the game.
.25 in front of 5 on a Tuesday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. We've got a lot of sound coming up throughout the next hour and change from Shane Beamer. We'll get into more of that in just a minute, and we'll have our headlines coming up at 5. Don't want you to forget that the next time you can hear Shane live will be Thursday, new time for Carolina Calls this season, moving it to 7.
Yep.
Give everybody a chance to have some dinner first.
Right before Thursday Night Football.
Eagles hosting the Cowboys, and the Cowboys got better because they traded.
Well, now they can stop the run.
That's right.
Yeah, they can stop the run now.
Man, if I was the Eagles, I'm so serious when I say this. Right now, I'd be like, Saquon, you want to go? Let's see if we can go for 350. What do you think, bud?
Just to show Jerry just how asinine.
Yeah, just like he'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I really would. I'm serious. They really should try to get him 200 yards. Not just as a team. Get Saquon 200 yards. Like, oh yeah, Dallas? Okay. And not that Dallas owes Micah anything.
Oh, no,
or not the Philly, excuse me, not that Philly owes Micah anything. But just to, you got better against the run, did you?
We'll see.
Watch this.
Let's watch how good you are against the run.
This. Yeah. And by the way, Jer, you know who's been to 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls? You know who won last one?
Uh-huh.
Us.
Yeah. So, a little reminder.
I hope my wife's not listening.
Well, you know what? How is your couch really comfortable?
It's nice.
Is it all right?
It's nice. It's not a good sleeper. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well,
I haven't ever had to sleep there.
Well,
I will say that much.
Tonight might be the first night.
But I've fallen asleep on it.
Well, see, there's a difference between falling asleep on it watching TV
and having to
sleep out there when a pillow and blanket have been laid there for you.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm fortunate in that respect, Ter.
Up until now.
Yeah, I have to be careful. Nah, she's. I think most Cowboy fans are now like understanding that it's just not going to happen until Steven takes over, whenever that is, and even then.
You see, you automatically think because Steven saved the Cowboys by
Steven's not going to be the general manager.
Johnny Manziel. I'm hoping Steven is smart enough watching this.
Oh,
to say when I'm in charge, the first thing I'm going to do, hire a real GM, and get out of their way.
Yeah. It's just not. This is not, and get not only that, but who? You know what I do? Who is it? I'm just blanking in Green Bay. Get the Green Bay guy.
Oh, you're talking about the guy in charge of everything?
No. Just their GM.
Oh, Gutekunst. Yeah, Gutekunst.
Gutekunst. Just get him. That's what I would do.
He's good.
He is.
He's good. He's doing a really nice job.
And they have to do things differently. Anyway.
You know what, too? I mean, wow, he's the guy to trade for Micah Parsons. Yeah. Maybe you can get Micah Parsons back.
Wouldn't that be? I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But start bench drop today. A lot of you hitting us. Thank you. Start bench drop these disappointments, and then we'll talk about some of the disappointments. In alphabetical order, your choices: Alabama, Bill Belichick, Arch Manning. That's college football disappointments from the week 1 or just into last night. Let's see. I'll go in order of what I've got so far. Jason says start Bama, bench Arch, drop Bill. All right, and again, I'm asking, not that I'm disagreeing with you, Jason, but your starter will be the biggest disappointment. And it could be to you, could just be what you think in general, however you want to do it. Franklin says start Bama, bench Arch, drop Bill. All right. Steven says start Bama, bench Arch, drop Bill. And let's see. Mark says start Arch, drop, or bench Bama, drop Bill. That's a lot of dropping Bill Belichick. That game last night was, and I got a lot more I'll get to here in a minute. And you can also hit us up not only on my Twitter feed, jphillips1075, but on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100.
I've got mine. You got yours?
I do. I'll give it to you next hour. But if you want to go ahead and give yours.
I'll be honest with you, my start was pretty easy.
Okay.
I think the biggest disappointment was Bama.
Okay.
I think that was an embarrassment. A flat. It's like, you know what it's like? I thought more about this. It's like they said, hey, guys, they only won 2 games last year. We're just going to show up, pitch our jocks on the field, and smack these dudes all over the place.
Man, they were 14.5-point favorites.
Yeah, they were. You watched some of that. You watch it. I did. They looked unprepared, uninspired, unmotivated. And then they were almost like, Jay, they were surprised when they got punched in the face.
Yeah, that was the thing that got me, is that you had to know as a coaching staff, and really team captains and leaders as well, all year long, 9 months, these boys across from us have heard how terrible they are, and we're in their house. Yeah,
and here's the other thing. It's like you've never watched film on Gus Malzahn's offense.
Right.
That team was so undisciplined on defense, because that's what Gus wants you to do. He's going to do a lot of eye candy, a lot of fakes, a lot of misdirections. So anyway, Alabama to me is the biggest disappointment.
Okay. All right, so that's your starter. So start Bama.
But here's my thing, too. I think my bench will be Belichick. Because, look, I am a guy, I said this yesterday, that, Arch Manning, for what he could control, did not have a good day throwing the ball. His mechanics were sloppy. He was off target a lot. But I'm cutting that one because I think this wasn't Arch Manning. This is the media that did that to Arch Manning. So,
and the Ohio State defense.
Yes. And I think that well, really, if the Ohio State defense, you're right. But if they wouldn't have built Arch Manning up so much, it'd have been another redshirt freshman getting suffocated by the Ohio State defense, right?
Yeah.
If he was Arch Phillips or Arch Ford.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that was really unfair.
And are Ohio State fans worried about their quarterback, who was worse?
He made one good throw the whole game.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I think I cut that one because I really think it was unfair. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
And look, I don't have a whole lot of expectations.
And I'll just go ahead and tell you that he's my drop as well. I'll give you my starting bench of the two.
My thing on the Belichick, do I have a lot of expectation for North Carolina? No. You got 7,000 new players. You got a guy's coaching the NFL his whole life. He doesn't understand the game of college football, and he's got to learn it if he's open to it. I didn't have a lot of expectation for North Carolina this year, Jay. I just don't. But I think what happened to Arch Manning is more of a cuttable, a droppable thing than Belichick.
What I saw last night was, look, opening drive, sure. And, I mean, man, Reese and Herbie were ready to put him in the playoff. Not just the fans. I mean, the announcing crew. And I will say, I read a lot about this game this morning. And one of the things, apparently, that Sonny Dykes was telling his team is, hey, they don't even know we're here.
Oh, the whole pregame was about Belichick.
I mean, and I will say, for as magnificent a job as ESPN does with college football, and I'm serious when I say that, they dropped the ball last night, no pun intended, because they treated a team that just 2 seasons ago played for the national championship like the Washington Generals play in the Globetrotters. I mean, they really did. I would say, whether they intended to or not, and I don't believe they did, but I can understand easily why Texas Christian felt disrespected last night.
Do you know, the last time we saw this was when Colorado and Oregon played, and the entire pregame show was about Deion in Colorado, and Dan Lanning had the speech.
Yeah.
And Oregon went out there and dismembered Colorado. Yeah. So I bet you Sonny Dykes went down that road last night.
And it could have been worse. They took a knee on the 8 when time ran out. And I was saying earlier, this game, I mean, 38-7, not even midway through the third quarter. And that's, I mean, Keenan was half empty or half full, depending on how you like to do it. But North Carolina was severely overmatched, as much from a talent perspective as anything else. And I don't look. I've been around college football for what I do my whole life. You know, I've never worked in it, but I'm not naive. And I joke sometimes, Terry, and I'm not alone in this. There's 10 things that matter in college football, and 7 of them are recruiting. I don't know if Bill Belichick has really ever understood that. Not that you can correct recruiting mistakes in a short amount of time. We know that when there's a coaching change, it's hard. I get it. And they will recruit better. But they have to go. I mean, I've told you before, I was thinking about that Dan Reeves interview that I did. The last one that I ever got to do with Coach when Shane got hired. And I've told this story before. That last thing I asked Dan that day was, Coach, you got any advice for the new head coach at your alma mater? And in that Georgia accent of his, he said, yeah, tell him to go get some players. This is college football. It's that, and it can be that simple. Yes, you got to go recruit.
Right. And that's what it is. Here's the thing with Bill, to me, with Belichick. You came in with a pro mindset, not understanding the college game. That's fine. A lot of pro coaches do that. But are you open-minded enough to evolve to understand, you know what matters? Recruiting.
Yeah.
You got to go recruit.
And then you got to keep doing it.
And you got to keep doing it. Guess what you got to do now? You got to recruit your own players.
Yeah.
You got to recruit high school players and other people's players. If Bill gets it, he'll have a chance to be successful. But if he doesn't, he's going to go in that graveyard of other NFL coaches who have come to college, like the great Lovie Smith. Remember that tenure at Illinois?
That was not good. Yeah.
And so, anyway, all right.
Good luck to you, Coach. Jay or Nate is next. Let's indeed do some Jay or Nay here. We'll have some game show music in just a second. By the way, Terry Ford, I was today years old when I learned that there is something called the Vivid Seats fan forecast. It's some type of formula that Vivid Seats uses to project the percentage of fans pulling for one team over another in a stadium, I guess.
Really?
And it projects that 48% of MetLife will be Steeler fans when they play the Jets this weekend. And I'm like,
only 48%?
You sure? Like, I want to see how good their projections are, because I would, if you had asked, I would have said, I don't know, like 60-40. But it is the opening weekend, so maybe Jet fans will be holding out some hope. But otherwise, when the Steelers typically, I mean, seriously, man, Baltimore, Cincinnati, maybe the occasional other place that the Steelers aren't the home team, even when they're not in Pittsburgh. Right?
Yeah.
So.
Tell you what, in the beginning of the Ravens in Baltimore, those first few years, the Steeler games were Pittsburgh home games.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, when the Ravens
then Baltimore was like, oh, we have a team again. That's right.
Totally forgot about Sundays.
Yeah.
We've been going down the harbor.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
So the Steelers can take over a town, man. It's very simple.
Now
that fan
Baltimore
base.
has some Super Bowls, and now they have Lamar.
Now the Steelers fans don't get in there as much. Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah.
All right,
I
here
want
we
Lamar
go.
to get to the Super Bowl.
Huh?
I want Lamar to get to the Super Bowl.
You know,
Even though that means he'd probably have to do it over Denver.
They're picked by a lot of the analytics to be the favorite team in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl.
I like Lamar.
I like him a lot. I would love to see him get to a Super Bowl. I would. I mean, obviously,
Just don't want it to be
win
Denver
one.
to do it.
Oh, that I don't care about.
I know.
Matter of fact, I'm okay with that.
I believe you.
All righty. Jay or nay, Lamar Jackson makes it to a Super Bowl in his lifetime.
Jay!
All right, Jay or nay, Jackson Dart has been named the backup quarterback for the New York Giants behind Russell Wilson. Jackson Dart will start at least 3 games this year for the New York Giants. Jay or nay, sir?
Ooh, I like this one. Jay, because that would be less than 20% of their starts. And I think maybe later on, Yeah, Jay.
You going to go Jay on that one?
Yeah.
All right, I like you there going on a limb a little bit there, friend.
In fact, I wonder what that would have been if you would ask me an over-under number. Like 4.5. Would I have said over?
That might be I might have to do that sometime.
Think about that one later.
Next hour's.
All right.
All right. Justin Fields is the starting quarterback of the Jets. Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback of the Jets by the end of the season. Jay or nay? Tyrod Taylor's the backup.
I was going to say, who's their backup now?
Tyrod Taylor. Who started for everybody, by the way.
Can I?
Nope. Whatever you're going to say, no.
It's the Jets. It'll be somebody. It'll pick somebody else up. It'll be that guy. So nay.
Whoever that guy is.
Nay. It'll be nay, but it won't be Taylor either. It's the Jets, man. They'll be like 3-14. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sorry, Jet fans, but you know
now
I'm
your
right.
starting quarterback, Richard Todd.
Yeah. Joe Namath in his fur coat.
Kiss me, Susie.
Oh, God.
All right, Jay or nay?
Yes.
Right now, the Florida Gators are number 13 in the country. At the end of the season, the Florida Gators will be in the top 15 in the country. Jay or nay?
Nay. I think they'll probably lose 4 times this year. I'm looking. I could see them losing to Tennessee, LSU, and Georgia almost for sure. And there's probably one more in there. I think they'll be ranked, but I don't think they'll be in the top 15.
Jay or nay, after seeing what you saw in Tallahassee on Saturday, the Alabama Crimson Tide are in trouble.
Jay, I mean, they're in trouble. The good news is they can get themselves as much mentally back on track. Listen, this isn't because they have bad players.
No.
They've got to be put in a better position to win. And like I said to you just a little bit ago, is this primarily on the coaching staff? Yeah, that's their job. But there's team leaders that understand why they went to Alabama. And those upperclassmen, 22 and 23-year-olds now, they got to whip the other guys into shape and say, hey, fellas, this ain't what we're about here. Because if 9-3 is a disappointment, you're headed towards worse if you're not careful. And you got to go to Athens. You still got to play Ole Miss and LSU.
And I'm going to tell you something, no offense to Florida State, but if the Seminoles put that kind of physical whooping on you, what do you think is going to happen to you in Athens if you don't get your head out of your backside?
So I mean, they can fix it, but it's about It's about how they play, not who they are.
All right, last Jeremy quickly. After watching Notre Dame over the weekend, the Fighting Irish still look like a college football playoff squad.
Yeah, Jay, that was a good game, man. That was a good game. They came back from 14 down. They tied it, had a couple of mistakes. They looked gassed. I think they lost once last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you probably can only lose one more time.
Right.
But they're still good. They're still good. So, Jay on that. Headlines of the day coming up. AAA Heating and Air is ready to make sure that you and your family are nice and comfortable all year long. And not just all year long this year, but for the next 15 years, Roy and Dana Finley have extended their fantastic offer for you that'll let you have guaranteed financing, no payments or interest for a full year, a $1,500 system buyback rebate, and a 15-year parts and labor guarantee. That's right. For the next 15 years, you will know that you are going to be taken care of when it comes to your heating and cooling comfort. So call them up at 803-677-1500 and get one of their great techs into the house. Listen, if you're ready for a brand new system within a couple of days, from the call to the installation, you're done. It really is that quick. Whether it's a repair or a brand new system or anything in between, AAA Heating and Air is ready to help you out. Love what they've done for my house. You will too. 803-677-1500. Tell them we sent you to AAA Heating and Air.
Checking the traffic. Wow, that's interesting. It just crashed. Why don't we do that again? We have the construction we always have, of course, as I try to get the traffic back at I-126 at 26 in Hugie. That's going on like always. Also, we have construction, Malfunction Junction, I-20 and 26, which is always a delight to try to drive through. And we got it back. Look at me. And, of course, we have the other construction, I-26 between Bush River Road and Old Sandy Run Road. The accidents, I-26 eastbound Sunset Boulevard, I-77 southbound at Shop Road, Mack Street at Highway 321, North Main Street right near Wilkes, Old Tahama Road, and Coon Road as well.
It is 5 o'clock news time on this Tuesday. It's also the final hour of the post-game show. Welcome back in alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. Shane Beamer had his weekly press conference today, coming off of South Carolina's 24-11 victory over Virginia Tech to open the season on Sunday. South Carolina State, the first home opponent for the Gamecocks this weekend. 7 o'clock will be the kickoff. A couple of cuts that we'll get to you from Shane right now, starting with about a 30-second injury report.
Injury update, Judge Collier and JT Gear are the only two coming out of the game against Virginia Tech that we're concerned about. I would say they are doubtful for this week, but thankfully it won't be long-term. We were a little concerned about Judge, his injury being long-term, but it wasn't and won't be. Don't know if they'll be quite ready this week, but we'll see. They're trying like heck to get back.
So there you go. That's it for now, at least in terms of the guys. I think Surratt was, a little banged up and didn't make the trip on Sunday, so he'll probably be further evaluated throughout the week. But I expect this weekend for South Carolina to be able to rotate some guys in and out. We'll see. That's not to discount the opponent. You never want to do that, obviously. And this school has seen 3 occasions where an in-state FCS school has beaten them, so you gotta be careful with those things. But otherwise, you certainly expect South Carolina to be able to rest some guys up before conference play opens next week when Vandy comes to town. One more here from Shane. A lot of you were concerned, disappointed, other things about offensive line play, despite a double-digit win on Sunday. But here is Shane on his and the coach's review of the offensive line's play.
It was. We got to be better. There's no question about it. And as I've said before, David, some of that's on offensive line, some of that's on running back, some of that's on tight ends as well. But there's no question there were some times that we got beat at the point of attack, didn't have maybe the push. Now, there were a lot of times where they had 8, 9 guys up there around the box too, and we knew there were going to be some runs into some big boxes and things like that. Their movement got us a couple times. There's no question that we got to be better, but not concerned at all. It was Rodney Newsom's first time playing in a Gamecock uniform. It was Boaz Stanley's first time playing in a Gamecock uniform. Tro didn't play a ton for us last year. Marquis, same thing. So you got a lot of guys that were out there for the first time, and they will be better going forward, and we'll continue to do a great job as coaches of helping those guys also. But, let's not lose sight. I think we were 4th in the SEC last year in rushing as well, so it's not like we've just gotten the crap kicked out of us in the run game. We ran the ball pretty damn good last year too, and we can't just say, well, that was all Lenore Sellers. We ran it pretty good. I can remember a lot of 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s where we had explosive touchdown runs where we handed it to a running back and he rolled up through there, whether it be LSU, A&M, whoever it might be. So we ain't starting that freaking narrative again this year. And I'm not talking to you. I just we can run the ball around here, and we're going to.
There you go. There's some confidence, and I appreciate that. And he's not wrong. I mean, statistics can back him up from last season. And in the grand scheme, Terry, the Gamecocks ran for 125 yards. That you'd like to have run for more, considering the attempts that you had at running the football on Sunday against Virginia Tech. But let me ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10 from what you saw, but what you can also project these guys to be, what would your level of concern be for offensive line run blocking?
Probably level of concern.
Like 1 to 10.
Yeah, probably in the middle. I'm not like super crazy concerned, but I'm not like, oh, they're going to be fine. Here's the way I look at it. I went back and looked at success rate on first down. And the Gamecock success rate on first down, that's not just running, that's throwing. But it was around 45, almost 45%, which is right about average. I feel like because it was so hit and miss, it was so inconsistent Sunday, and because like Brian said, and you've said, and I've seen it in my 4 years here, the offensive line has been such an issue. Whenever we see a negative play, we go, oh, my God, they suck.
Yep.
I think, like for an example, if you go look back at the grades on these guys on Pro Football Focus, Baugh had a really good game. Boaz Stanley was above average. Cason Henry was above average. Even Josiah Thompson, he wasn't as good as those three,
right,
but he was in the 60s, which is above average.
And again, I was told Josiah's he's got a couple of nagging
little
things.
Something.
Yeah, the little thing there. Yeah.
But the problem was the other guard spot. Newsome and Anderson were not very good, and I'm being kind. So the whole thing, I guess to answer your question, Jay, is I'm in the middle. I think the inconsistencies have to be ironed out, and they've got to get more consistent. But I don't think it's 2 years ago.
Right.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Mine would be, I'm with you. I think based on what Mike Yuva told us and what Ryan told us today, and how the team feels about this, a lot of it is the stuff that is rather easily corrected. Communication. You're supposed to be here, not here. Just some things, and again, like Shane mentioned, a couple of guys who've never played with the team before. Mm-hmm. And this is why, even if you've done scrimmages or whatever, they scrimmage in an empty ballpark. All right? There's maybe, including all of the players and staff, there's maybe 200 people in there.
Yep.
They don't have open scrimmages, which is fine. They don't have exhibition games, which, I know Shane would like them. The point I make is you play a good team that was really gung-ho to go up against you. You're going to show some early flaws and some early rust that needs to be shaken off. I'm not here to make excuses either. And again, South Carolina won the football game by 13 points. And so there's plenty, and they ran for 125 yards. You also saw your two tailbacks both pop big runs. You want the more steady runs. I get it, and I think they'll come. But I wouldn't be. I'm 5 out of 10, 4 or 5 in the run game. Okay. I was maybe more concerned about some of the sacks.
Yeah, let me go to run blocking. So I was giving you the overall blocking numbers for these guys. Okay, run blocking, Ball was at 65.5, which is above average, according to Pro Football Focus. It's not the Bible. We're just giving you someone's grading perspective, right? Boaz Stanley was also in the 60s at like 61. Then Cason Henry was really good in pass protection by Pro Football Focus. He was under 60, and so was Josiah Thompson. And again, Newsome really struggled as an Anderson.
Right.
So they were much better in pass protection than run blocking. Now, to me, again, I'm right in the middle and concerned because you're in the 50s, that's below average, but it's not like Newsome was like, Josiah Thompson was in the 40s. He really struggled. But overall, I'm not going, oh my God, right? I'm like sort of in the middle because I think Ball did a nice job. Stanley did an okay job. Thompson, I just have this belief, and maybe I'm being stupid, I think he's going to get better. He's got so much skill and ability.
He will get better.
He's got to get better. And again, someone else will probably play that guard spot instead of Newsome and Anderson because, again, Sharp was good at Wake Forest. He's been hurt. Surratt, some injury stuff there too.
Yep.
So hopefully somebody can step up in that spot and fill it in. They were better in pass protection than in run blocking on Sunday. But I'm still in the middle and concerned.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
We'll have some more on this. Our own Elijah Campbell asked a terrific question of Shane in the presser following along with some of this, and we'll have that for you as part of our Gamecock Notebook coming up in just a few minutes, so make sure you stay tuned. We got more from Shane coming up then. In the meantime, continuing our integrated media headlines of the day, the latest AP college football poll is out, as is the coaches poll. Just going to do AP right now. Ohio State is your new number one to the surprise of almost no one, except a few people perhaps in Happy Valley. But Ohio State gets 55 first-place votes, that of the 66 that are out there. Penn State is number 2. They got 7. LSU is 3rd. They're up 6 spots, are the LSU Tigers, after the win in Clemson. They got 3. Georgia is 4th. Miami up 5 to number 5. Oregon is the only other school that got a first-place vote. They are number 6. Texas falls to 7. Clemson drops 4 spots to 8. Notre Dame drops 3 spots to 9. South Carolina moves up 3 spots to close out the top 10. So, Gamecock fans, if you haven't heard, yes, you are in the top 10 of the AP poll going into week 2. Illinois is number 11. They'll be hacked off that they're not ahead of Carolina. Arizona State is 12. Florida 13. Florida State not ranked. Terry Ford last week. Did they even get votes? I got to go back and look. Did they? Even,
I don't think they. No,
I don't
not
even know
at
if they
all.
got votes
No,
last week. But Florida State, after the dismantling of Alabama, is number 14. Notice you haven't heard Alabama yet. Will you? Stay tuned. Michigan is 15th. Iowa State 16, up 6 spots are the Cyclones. SMU 17. Oklahoma 18. A&M 19. Mississippi is number 20. you still haven't heard Alabama. You will now, though. Alabama drops 13 spots to number 21. Tennessee is number 22. Indiana is 23. Texas Tech, 24. And the Utah Utes, with their big win at UCLA, enters in at number 25. Their hated rival BYU, by the way, right behind them there in the poll. So there you go. But Gamecock fans, number 10. And Clemson stays in the top 10 at number 8. Ohio State is the new number 1. You got any problems with these positionings?
Nah, not really.
Everything pretty good?
After 1 week.
It's good. Yeah, it's early.
It's fine. I mean, I like seeing South Carolina move up to 10. That's cool. I mean, look, if you're Clemson, you lost at home to LSU, you're going to fall, obviously. But LSU...
Clemson and Texas should not have, and Notre Dame either. None of them should have fallen out of the top 10.
They lost it. They lost in big matchups with top 10 opponents. And whether you lost at home or the road, you played a really good team and you got beat, but you shouldn't tumble. No. Alabama should tumble. I'd have them at 121st after watching that mess.
I was wondering if Alabama would stay ranked, and I think you have to give them a nod because, as we talked about last hour, Alabama didn't lose because they don't have the players or the horses to run the race, but they gotta figure some things out between the ears real quick. And again, they're going to beat Monroe this weekend. I expect them to beat Wisconsin the following weekend. I expect them to, but it doesn't mean they will. But I expect them to beat Florida State. But I mean, they're going to beat Monroe. Because if they don't, I mean, if we want to be real and silly at the same time, then if they don't. If you're Kalen DeBoer, then you basically do just go ahead and leave.
If you're Kalen DeBoer, you don't go back with the team.
You just go ahead and leave.
You just give everybody a hug and just go.
But they're not going to lose to Monroe.
No.
But Wisconsin presents a different kind of challenge
because they play such that style. And if you're Alabama, look, Wisconsin, even though they haven't been anything special under Luke Fickell,
not of late,
they play physical football and they're going to bring the fight to you physically. Alabama, they got the fight brought to them physically this past weekend. What did they do? Roll in the fetal position.
They did,
and cry.
And that still remains my biggest thing. Is like you can't, people like you and me and fans that listen to us and wherever around the country can expect Alabama to cover the spread, or in the case of you and me and Elijah, to cover the spread comfortably. But Alabama's players and coaches have to go in there again, telling each other that this is a very, very, very motivated opponent in their house. And it isn't like FSU is FIU, despite their really crappy season last year. It's still a team that's got tons of good players. You had to expect more. And I'm with you. When they got popped early, they went, ow.
And that was
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Instead of, ow, oh, yeah?
And I'm going to roll up my sleeves and come back at you.
They really didn't.
Because I really, truly felt that they thought they were going to walk into that stadium and just the fact they walked on the field, they were going to win that game by 2 or 3 scores. And
they ate the rat poison, as Nick would say.
They guzzled it.
Yeah.
You figured eating it. I mean, so here's the thing. But once you get popped, you realize
Nick should do. He should go to Kalen's office because he's got a place in there still, and put like a box of decon.
They just sit it right there.
Just put it on his desk.
Exactly.
And just walk away.
Fell for bigger than anybody.
To Kalen from Nick.
Right. Because let's face it, I felt the entire program thought they were going to walk in there and just whoop them.
I think so.
And when they did get punched, you realize you were in a game, and when you cut it to 1 score in the fourth quarter, that's when your defense had to step up and get that stop. And remember, that's when they got the 15-yard penalty that totally changed the game. They didn't. That was a disappointment, Jay. They didn't react when they got popped. They didn't come back. Oh, by the way. Oh, hey, little man, did you hit me? Now I have to destroy you.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
I thought Simpson played well.
He had some good moments. He played better. Look,
but they couldn't run.
In the situation that they were in, he played better than I thought he was going to play. But you're right. Once again, it goes back to physicality on the line of scrimmage. They couldn't run, and they couldn't stop the run.
Right.
That's not good, is it?
No, it's not. Not in football. That's what they tell me. That's our integrated media headlines of the day. More from Coach Beamer in the Gamecock Notebook, and that's next. Now the football season is here. It means finding the best way to watch your big game when you're not in the ballpark. The best way is with an amazing home theater system from Integrated Media. With just one call, they will install the latest in 4K technology from Samsung, including amazing frame TVs that, they can look like, museum quality art when they're not tuned in to your favorite team or whatever else you like to watch. You couple that with the built-in Dolby Atmos surround system, and it's like you're part of the action. If you want to watch outdoors, Integrated Media installs outdoor home theater equipment that is built around the Samsung Terrace TV, enhanced with Sonos outdoor speakers, equipment that is built to be outside all year. Trust me, y'all, looks and sounds like everything indoors does. One room, whole house, outdoors, Wi-Fi that works everywhere, which is great when you're streaming your entertainment. No better way to watch your team and be part of the action than with Integrated Media. 803-948-8327. Call Integrated Media today. Welcome back in. Postgame show rolling on here on a Tuesday. Jay and Terry with you. Time for our Gamecock Notebook. Shane Beamer speaking today ahead of Carolina SC State Saturday night at 7. Shane reminding us that the ball game is sold out. We're also doing start bench drop today. Some of the disappointments over the weekend. Which one's your biggest one? That's your starter. Start bench drop. Alabama and their performance. Bill Belichick's debut. Arch Manning. Those are the three, and got a lot more that we have gotten to here. Pops Frisbee says, start Belichick. bench Bama, drop Arch. Calico says start Alabama, bench Arch, drop Belichick. Said had zero expectations for Coach. And then he makes a snide comment about his girlfriend.
You see she's going to do some kind of like clothing line or some kind of line. She wants to use the name Gold Digger.
I did see she was trying to trademark the term.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. CeeLo Green on line 1. Good luck with that.
Oh, anyway.
We have more. We'll get to them in just a little bit. In the meantime, again, back to Coach Beamer's press conference today. We were talking about offensive line play and the need for this this ball club to try to get some more just standard runs. You love to pop the big plays, and depending on how you look at it, Carolina ran for 125 yards the other day. That's not awesome. It's not terrible, but our own Elijah Campbell asked Coach about the fact that the average third down for South Carolina was 3rd and 9.
Yeah.
And here's what Shane had to say about that.
Oh, yeah. Here's what he said.
All right. So, again, and Ryan mentioned this, and look, one of the oldest cliches in the sport, forget about run and stop the run. That's the oldest one. The second oldest one is you make your biggest improvements from week 1 to week 2. And for South Carolina's offensive line, if, again, some of the things that we have been told are accurate, then between a couple of guys with some nagging injuries that need to get fixed and some communication issues, then there are, several reasons to believe, Terry, that this offensive line will get better. Are they going to turn into the 80s Redskins? No. No, they're not. But Shane's not wrong when he says they ran the ball well last year. But this, look, whether you want to look at it in the run game or the pass game, there are areas of improvement. And like I say, I think a couple of the sacks, when I say they were on Lenoris, I think Lenoris is working on staying in the pocket, staying through his progressions and reads, and wanting to throw the football. There will be times when they tell him, son, it's okay if you want to take off again.
Yeah.
But you still want to try and you're working on that.
Right.
And you don't have the luxury of, again, Terry, of working on that in an exhibition game.
And the other part of this is, like the safety, you got to get rid of the ball because the heat's coming.
Yeah.
But you're going through these progressions, and you just got to – that's a feel and instinct thing of a guy who typically takes off, right, is now trying to stay in the pocket and go through progressions. You got to learn that you got to get that instinctive feel, okay, time to bolt, or time to get rid of it, to check it down to the guy in the right flat who's open, right? On the sack, you can watch him going through progressions, did not feel the rusher coming at him, and he got leveled, right? But he's sitting there. If you watch the replay, he's looking down the field, right? Did not feel the rush and got smacked, and it was a fumble, and thank God, I think Josiah Thompson recovered it.
Josiah, yeah.
So he's a guy trying to navigate this thing called playing in the pocket. Does he have to learn when it's time to take off and give it up? Sure, absolutely. But, this is a process, and this process started in the bowl game against Illinois. And if he gets this, which, again, if you do enough reps with it, Jay, you get better at it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so the hope is he gets better at it in the next few weeks, and all of a sudden he starts to get that feel of, Okay, I've gone through a couple of these things. Oh, my God, here they come. Let me get out of here. Let me at least get out of the way of the pressure.
And does that mean he plays a lot this weekend? Probably.
More than maybe. Look, if it had been more of a finished product, maybe in the Virginia Tech game, maybe he plays less, but you might play more because you want to get those reps. We want to get you to drop 3, 5, 7 steps, go through your stuff, make your throws.
Right.
Or go back, you look at 1 and 2, oh my God, here they come.
Right.
Let me get out of the heat either to make a throw or run downfield.
Right.
So it's just reps, man. That's the way I feel about it, but I think you saw that a couple times. And if you look at run block grades, Jay, Ball was 85 in run and pass block grades. Case and Henry was 80. Boaz Stanley was 76.6. Josiah Thompson a tick under 70 at 69.1. The sad thing is they didn't have a ton of pressures, Virginia Tech, but when they had pressures, they got sacks. They got him. So it's a little misleading if you look at the grading because you go, wow, really, they gave up five sacks or whatever. How those grades so good? Because there wasn't that much pressure, but the pressure did get home to get sacks.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
one more here from Shane in our Gamecock notebook. Obviously, maybe the play of the day was the Vicari Swain punt return for a touchdown after Shane decided to have Virginia Tech re-kick after a 5-yard penalty. So it's not just about one guy getting it done. It's about 11 guys getting it done. Here's Shane breaking down that touchdown play. So there you go. Again, I think we should expect one of those every other week. Is that fair?
Sure.
Or should we do it every week?
How about it? Just every
I think they should do it once a week.
We're bringing back the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams contest. Right. So already $100 in the bad on this thing.
Did somebody win?
They're going to win. Yeah,
okay.
We'll end up doing a drawing on Friday. We got to get everybody ready to register. But yeah, it was like, oh wow, $100 already.
Well, I joked about it a few weeks ago, but I remember saying after Debo ran a kickoff return for a touchdown against NC State in Charlotte, I was like, but listen, you can't count on that every week. And then he did it again the next week at Mizzou, and I was like, all right, not bad.
Maybe you can.
You can. So I'm not going to sit here today and say that you can't count on a Gamecock punt return for a touchdown. All right, drive around the SEC is coming up. Brian Kelly with some interesting words for Dabo. We'll tell you what he said right after this.
We talk about the men's clinic of South Carolina a lot here on this show, Jay and I, and it's just very simple. You're a guy, you're getting older, and, you're not 25 anymore. You can't bench as much as you used to at the gym, or you don't remember things like you did when you were younger. You didn't need no stupid reminder on your phone. You slept much better than you do now. You have more drive in life, whether it's professional, sexual, personal, whatever. You just had more drive. It's just could be low testosterone. That's it. One way to find out. You go to the men's clinic, call 803-875-MENS, and you set an appointment. You go in, you tell Dr. Dan and the staff your story. If they think it could be low T, they'll do some lab work. If it comes back low testosterone, they will then, and this is the best part of the whole process, put you on a program specifically designed for you to get you back to feeling you again. 803-875-MENS, Men's Clinic of South Carolina. All right, we have stop-and-go traffic, I-26 westbound between Sunset Boulevard, exit 110, and St. Andrews Road, exit 106. Also an accident, Garner's Ferry Road near Atlas Road, I-77 southbound Shop Road near exit 6, Killian Road at I-77, Mack Street at Highway 321 Main Street, also North Main Street at Wilkes Road as well, Olympia Avenue at Virginia Street, Pilgrim Church Road near South Carolina 6. Check on the traffic. We have slow traffic. Stop and go I-26 westbound between Sunset Boulevard and St. Andrews Road. Accident Garner's Ferry Road near Atlas Road. I-77 southbound Shop Road. Killian Road at I-77. Mack Street at Highway 321. North Main Street at Wilkes Road. Olympia Avenue at Virginia Street. Also Pilgrim Church Road near South Carolina.
It is Drive Around the SEC time on this Tuesday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Again, just tuning in, the new AP College Top 25 football poll is out. Ohio State is number 1. LSU is 3rd. Georgia 4th. Texas 7th. South Carolina 10th. Florida 13th. Oklahoma 18. A&M 19. Ole Miss 20. Alabama 21. Tennessee 22. Those are the schools that are ranked this week inside the AP Top 25. Got a couple of good games this weekend. We open conference play this weekend, Terry Ford. Mississippi visits Kentucky. Chance for Mark Stoops to...
No.
No?
No. No, don't even finish the sentence.
No?
To lose another game?
It's in Lexington.
Okay. South Carolina or Kentucky?
Virginia. Actually, North Carolina, where they can just eat barbecue all day.
That's right.
Ole Miss is a 10.5-point favorite.
Is that all?
And would you like to guess the FPI percentage chance for the Rebels?
How about, I'm gonna give a little respect to Kentucky in all seriousness. I'm gonna say 58% chance of Ole Miss winning that game at Lexington.
All right, we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna go Bob Barker here. Higher.
Really? 66.
Higher.
75.
Higher.
No! 82.
Higher.
Oh my God, 89?
Lower.
87.
84.
84. Wow.
84% chance. Take it as you will.
Wow. I will not. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
For a road game. That's a lot. That's a lot for a road game.
Two SEC teams playing.
Yeah, and on the road.
That's a lot, man.
Speaking of on the road, LSU beat Clemson on the road on Saturday night. 17-10 was the final score for the LSU Tigers. And at his press conference yesterday, Dabo Swinney said this. I'll read it, then you'll hear Brian Kelly's response from his presser today. Said Dabo, quote, "It was a hell of a game, down to the last play, right out of the gate. It's like getting the final exam day one of class. They made a 65. We made a 58. Neither one of us were great." That's Dabo's opinion on his team losing at home. But they made a 65, we made a 58, Brian Kelly had this to say. Yeah, it's all passed. Yeah. So I think he saw the second half. Look, you got to spin it the right way if you're Dabo.
Sure, you have to.
But
and Dabo's famous for that.
And I think Brian went on to say I'd give us more like an 85. So even he didn't want to give his team, an A.
Right. Well,
he gave him a solid B.
Look, they came out in the second half and they whooped Clemson.
They did.
They really did. Because remember, they came down the field and they tried to convert that fourth down and they couldn't. And there was a lot of screaming to kick the field goal, and Brian Kelly didn't. And I remember the interview at halftime. He was like, "Look, we're fine, man. It's a tough place to play. It's a really good team. We're hanging with them. We're going to be okay." Mm-hmm. And they came out in the second half and took it to Clemson, and that LSU defense was excellent for 4 quarters.
Well, I mean, for Clemson's offense, which is high-powered and has new additions and has a fantastic quarterback and a creative offensive coordinator, to be held scoreless at home in the second half is a testament to LSU. Period. It's not that Clemson's maybe Klubnik and some of the kids are overhyped. I don't know. I'm not ready to go there yet. Mm-hmm. What I saw was an LSU defense that said, "Oh yeah, all right." That's my interpretation.
I guess my thing. Okay, if you want to say Clemson's passing attack was hurt because Antonio Williams, their best receiver, was injured. Okay, fine. But here's the biggest problem, Jay. Clemson couldn't run the ball.
They couldn't run.
They could do nothing on the ground against LSU at all in that football game, which made them very one-dimensional. And then, you don't have your number one receiver, but you have two other young guys who are really good. You just couldn't. You lost the battle at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And that's what kind of surprised me. Was the fact that, I thought Clemson would win, and I think we talked about it on the show last week. I thought that Clemson defensive line, which got 2 or 3 future pros, was going to light up an LSU offensive line with 4 new starters. That LSU offensive line more than held their own.
LSU spent a lot of money in in terms of portal acquisitions. Mm-hmm. But Clemson spent more this year, too. Look, I just think LSU was the better football team on Saturday night. Yep. Are they the better football team overall? I don't know yet. It's September the 2nd. I don't know. But they certainly were. And whatever adjustments and motivation Brian Kelly and his staff made, then, used motivation-wise at halftime worked brilliantly. Because, again, what I saw – listen, Clemson was okay in the first half, and LSU was not in terms of offense. Defensively, I mean, if you told me that it was going to be 10-3 at halftime, I'd be like, I'd probably take that because I know I can adjust.
I was going to say, be Brian Kelly for a minute. Well, don't be Brian Kelly for a minute, but just be the head coach of LSU for a minute. You're walking off the field on the road, down 10-3. You just missed an opportunity to get points, but you move the ball down the field on a good defense. I'm in the locker room going, guys, we're fine. Yeah. We're only down by one score. Yeah. All we got to do is go out there. Our defense is
as soon as we tied the game, we have the advantage, and that's what they did.
And remember this, they got screwed out of the touchdown, the Berry and Brown play. Then they missed the field goal.
Right.
They had no points on that drive. Their defense came back, stoned Clemson again, got the ball back, and that was a huge momentum swing back and forth in that football game.
And Clemson got the ball to start the half and did nothing. And that's then, right there. Yeah. LSU was like, bing.
I mean, LSU's, that's the thing you walk away from that game going, LSU's defense, that looked like a legit SEC defense. They had dudes flying everywhere. There was speed, athleticism. Clemson couldn't run. LSU was winning the line of scrimmage. I was like, if they play defense close to this the rest of the year, you don't want to deal with them.
No.
Not at all.
Got some other good games this weekend in conference play. All non-con, obviously. Again, the only conference game, Mississippi at Kentucky. Michigan, Oklahoma, obviously. Arizona State at Mississippi State. This one's intriguing to me. Arizona State, highly ranked. Depending on where you look, they're either, number 12 in the AP, and they're actually ahead of Carolina in the coaches poll. But, I mean, any reason to have a lot of or an amount of faith, Terry, in Mississippi State this week?
Probably not.
No? Let me look up. I didn't even look that one up yet. Let me look up the FPI on that one real quick. We also have USF at Florida. You feeling good about the Bulls' chances?
USF is going to hang around a little bit.
I mean, they beat the hell out of Boise.
They popped Boise in the face. You know what? That's going to be. It's not going to tell us everything, but it'll give us a little bit more of a taste on Florida because USF is much better than the Week 1 opponent that the Gators had.
Yeah. Mississippi State at home over Arizona State. You know what, Terry? It's 54-46 in favor of the Sun Devils percentage-wise. Arizona State minus 6.5. I might take those points at home, man.
Yeah. Arizona State's going to be a fun team to watch this year. Did they just have lightning in a bottle last year, or are they building a solid program? A lot of people love Levitt,
man. I think it's a little bit of both. Florida, by the way, minus 17.5. The other big game is Kansas, Missouri in Como. Mizzou, only 6.5-point favorite.
Well, that's...
And Vandy and Virginia Tech in Blacksburg.
That, you know what? We talk about Virginia Tech. We really don't know what they are.
Have you seen this one? You know who's favored?
I haven't seen it. Vandy.
Virginia Tech minus 1.5.
That's only because they're at home. Really,
Computer.
Vandy.
Virginia Tech, 63%.
63%, really? Because that 1.5, I mean, you get 3 points for playing at home, right?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to ask a question. We'll answer it on the other side. Carolina fans, who's it better for with Carolina's perspective to win this game? Virginia Tech, who you just played, or Vandy, who you play next?
Interesting.
All right, we'll do that on the other side, plus Jay versus the Internet. Man, when Voice Guy says it, it makes me feel like I'm going to be in some kind of Schwarzenegger movie or something.
Yeah, it sounds like, some kind of evilness coming around at you, man.
Jay versus the internet.
Like the internet is like T2.
Yeah. Skynet, man.
It wouldn't go well for you.
Skynet. Yeah. Well, it's not going to go well for the planet, Terry. I've seen the movies. I'm afraid we're getting closer than I would like.
Oh, man.
But that's just me.
Let's knock these off real quick and get to start bench drop.
All right.
Very simple today.
Okay.
Max Fried taking the ball for the New York Yankees. Max Fried, a road ERA of 3.71 in Houston to face the Astros. Over-under runs given up by Max Fried in Houston of 4.
Well, since I hate Houston and I like Max, I want to say under.
All right. See, I like that kind of deep analytic logic you have.
That's why I'm not doing well in this.
San Francisco Giants, a 34-35 road team, will travel to Colorado to face the Rockies, an abysmal 22-48 at home. The money line has Colorado plus 195, which means if you put down $100, you go in 195.
Yeah.
Sir, if you're putting on the money line, are you going Rockies with the 100? No.
So
you're going Giants.
They're terrible. They win from time to time through the Rockies, but no.
So you're going no way?
No.
All right, and last one. The Texas Rangers have a 6-game win streak. Will they make it 7 tonight in Arizona? Underwhelming pitching matchup of two guys you've never heard of. Diamondbacks at home are over 500. Rangers are 10 below away from Texas.
Arizona.
The fate of mankind.
Yeah.
Listen to this music.
Jay versus the internet. Again, Skynet is watching.
So you're going no.
Yeah, give me the Diamondbacks to win that one.
Okay.
All right.
I hope you're right or we're all doomed.
Well, that's...
But when you're using logic like I like Max Fried and I hate the Astros, I'm feeling really good about mankind.
That's how I watch sports.
That's why you couldn't be a gambler, bro.
No, I don't want to gamble. I like sports. I like to see what happens. I'm here for the story. And I don't want the story to be, God, how'd that guy lose all his money? I don't need that in my life. Man, I got 4 kids.
You at the window.
I got 4 kids.
I see you at the window. Like I'm betting. You tell him the guy behind the window who doesn't care. Hey, bub, I love Max Fried. I hate the Astros. I'm dropping 150 here on this thing, and Max Fried's going to go under 4 runs.
Hey, thank you, sir. Where's your money?
That guy's going, wow, we love you. You want to make more bets?
That's right. So, yeah.
All right, stop, bench, drop. What do you got, my friend?
So mine, again, our start bench drop today, Alabama, Bill Belichick, Arch Manning, disappointments of the college football weekend. I already mentioned, Terry gave us his, that my drop was going to be Arch Manning. I think Arch is going to be fine. Arch played a road game in his first start at the national champion in a big emotional matchup, and he didn't look good. He'll be fine. My biggest disappointment, I'm like you, this was close for me, and I wavered a little bit throughout the day when I chose this morning. I'll admit, initially I was going to put Belichick, but I'm going to put Alabama because Alabama, unlike Bill Belichick's Tar Heels, Alabama is loaded with talent. And they look like crap. Belichick, at least, look, I don't know if he's going to be good in college or not. I've already predicted I don't think he will be. I don't think this game is just, I don't think it's for him. I think he knows how to coach professionals. I don't think he wants to go recruit. And recruiting is, without question, the lifeblood of college athletics, period, end of story. There is no, but if you have, nope, you better have the horses to run the race, and they don't. So Alabama, I will start as the biggest disappointment, but very close, sir, is how bad North Carolina looked last night, because they looked like crap.
They looked bad. And,
I don't think the score did the game justice.
No, I mean, that second half was abysmal.
And if you didn't see or know, the final score was 48-14. TCU had 2 defensive scores. They could have scored again late. They chose not to.
Right.
And really, they probably could have scored a couple more times.
Man, and remember, people, if you didn't watch it, North Carolina scored the first time they had the ball to go up 7-0.
Yeah.
And then the demolition
didn't score again until, 3 minutes left?
Yeah, that junk touchdown, Max Johnson.
And again, by then, TCU was like, whatever.
The mascot was playing quarterback. Right. They had an actual horned frog.
The actual horned frogs were out there. Yeah. They're like, man, that guy's not covering a lot of ground.
What's up with that dude? Had
a little helmet on. It was great.
I mean, it was as bad almost as bad as it could possibly be for an opener, for a debut. And Belichick's teams have never given up that many points.
Ever. Even as a DC, he never gave up that many points.
And I really believe this, Jay. I think he looked at it like, hey, you know what, man? I'm Bill Belichick. I'll coach these kids up. You just give me players and I'll coach them up. Because I coach them up.
I'll watch enough film and I'll go get it done.
Not the way this works, man.
Not how it works in college. How it works in college.
Not the way it works. You got to have dudes.
Before we get out of here, my question. Better for Carolina for Virginia Tech to beat Vandy this weekend or for Vandy to beat Virginia Tech, who Carolina will see after?
I guess in the short term, you've beaten Virginia Tech already, right?
Yep.
So it's probably good for Virginia Tech to win the game. But when you get to Vandy...
I think if you're a Carolina fan, I say pull for the Hokies.
Yeah, I just feel that way. Look, Vandy's a cute story last year. I think Virginia Tech, you probably want to see Virginia Tech win because you want your non-conference to beef up too.
That's where my head is.
Because I think your SEC's already taken care of. Make sense?
Yeah. I'd pull for the Hokies. Thanks to Ryan and to Mike for joining us. For Terry, I'm Jay. See you.
Congrats, Mike. Kreger Showrooms, formerly The Nest. We have had a blast hanging out with all the folks there. Graham and Nikki and Mandy and Rachel and everyone at The Nest. We're hanging out there, but we hang out there because the place is really cool. And Jay's already gotten some stuff to help, his home with the appliances. Our market manager here, Tammy, walked around and said, I want to buy everything in the store. If you want to upgrade, whether it's your kitchen, your bathroom, your plumbing, lighting, fixtures, whatever the case, you start with a place that has folks who know what's up. 70 years of experience are at Kreger Showrooms, formerly The Nest. You make that phone call, you talk to the folks there, and you say, hey, look, here are my dreams, my goals, my visions. Here's my budget. Here's what I want to do. They will bring you in, and you will look at this phenomenal showroom, and then they will sit you down. You will make choices, and you will go home happy. 803-978-2025. 803-978-2025. Kreger Showrooms, formerly The Nest. Make that call. Make your home look great.